And what is up? Welcome back. It is Friday, and you're here with us with the Average Boys podcast to talk everything news, nerdy, geek, manga, anything you like, comic books, games. We're all about that stuff. And I'm here with my co-host Trigger. Trigger, what is up, my dude?
What's going on, man?
How's it going, man? How's your week?
Pretty good, dude. I finally got, with a little bit of help of yourself, finally got the Go XLR going.
Yeah.
As you guys can see, there's no mic visible. I have the repurposed baby blue,
Yeah, the
baby
blue.
model.
That's
yeah, man. It's working, dude. It's working. This is
a super hell of a microphone, man. It's super good. Crazy.
Yeah.
Blue makes some very, very awesome stuff. Like we've showed before. Like I still have my Yeti and you have yours there too.
I think that's kind of like a staple with like everybody. Like, if you're gonna like get into it, get a
Oh,
Yeti.
dude, even right now with everybody jumping into the like streaming and podcasting and doing their own stuff for their content creating, a lot of people go for the Yeti and the Blue Company, and it's perfect, man. It does very, very good. But when you step it up, you have to get the right kind of gear. You have your Go XLR. You've been messing with it for a week. How has it been with the Go XLR running your streaming stuff?
So the good thing is that like the Go XLR is super user friendly, super duper user friendly. Like had I had like a studio audio interface, I think I would have had a lot more difficult of a time setting things up. I think I probably would have had to call my dad in and like, hey, like teach me how to use this stuff.
Oh yeah. Your dad has a bunch of years when it comes to working and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. So like, thankfully, I didn't need like his immediate direction and stuff like that. I know what good audio sounds like. I've worked alongside him for ever, and so like I know what to look for when it comes to like bad and good audio.
Okay.
Good thing is that I also have you. Like especially when we get like a new piece of gear, we're like, hey, we're gonna get on StreamYard right now.
Let's practice and stuff.
Yeah, let's test this out right now because I want to make sure that we're good for Fridays.
Well, yeah, it was really weird. Like, if we have any people that are listening out there and you're aware of having a mixer or something like a switchboard or something, well, Triggs just recently got his Go XLR, but the previous couple of weeks before that, yeah, you'll see it right there. The previous couple of weeks before that, Triggs purchased his World of Warcraft edition Yeti microphone.
I actually had this for like almost a couple months now.
Yeah, it was like, I know he got it recently. I know it wasn't that too long, but it's almost fresh. It's still brand new. But then when you tried to hook it up to your Go XLR, lo and behold, it ended up not working correctly. Well, it was kind of like.
So the crazy thing is that like no matter what we did, nothing was working correctly, and we were always getting feedback. And no shit, I finally figured out I had to like call people. Like thankfully, I kind of had to reach out to another friend of ours, Steve, and he also has a Go XLR, so he was also.
Hollywood.
Yeah, he also helped me, troubleshoot a lot of this, and it was my routing table. And the weird thing is that I had, because I don't like these headphones are like Bluetooth headphones that I can connect a 3.5 millimeter jack, and this is like what I use to monitor. And for the people who don't know monitor, what I mean is like I'm listening to myself and I'm listening to everything else. So like I have several things set up to where like you can hear, other things. What I had to like figure out was like essentially my routing table. And what I mean is like where each channel is going and what listens to it. Yeah. And the thing is that the way that I had my monitor set up was that I was listening to it through my speakers and not through an actual monitor. So it was going to give a little bit of feedback when I finished speaking.
Oh, I get you.
I not going to hear it when I was actually speaking because the feedback was too low. So this mic actually would have worked and it would have been fine, but nonetheless, like this is exactly what I needed. This is an XLR mic. I have a Go XLR interface. I might as well use an XLR mic with an XLR interface, not a USB mic.
I mean, and it's so much easier. There's a lot more presets that are for the XLRs, microphone setup. So it's so much more for dynamic or condensed microphones.
Yeah, and obviously I have a lot more control with an XLR you know, Mike, I have a lot more range when it comes to certain things.
Yeah.
The cool thing is that, like, let's say I did want to like use this in tandem with it, I still can. But the cool thing is that like I can still use like the voice effects for this.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
yeah. So like, there's like an ogre, or there's the Arthas
Oh,
voice
that's right.
effect,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know,
All the
because
cool
obviously,
voices that come with
you know,
the
with
World of
the
Warcraft mic, right?
yeah.
Oh, that's
So
pretty
I
cool.
mean, yeah. So I can still use them. I would just kind of have to like figure out how. And honestly, what I might end up doing is I want to see if I can try and export those like frequencies and then put them on the Go XLR, and that'd be fucking sick.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. If not, I think the Go XLR has some paddles that you can
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it does. Like,
yeah.
you know, there's all this cool shit right here.
Yeah, so it does help out that it has all that extra, all that extra function. Actually, what's really really cool is the Rodecaster Pro, which is one that I'm using. It just got a beta update like maybe a month ago.
Oh
So
shit.
now they have it to where the paddles, the 8 paddles that are on the side of your Rodecaster can be now set as a switch to control different cameras.
Oh, good, dude.
Yeah, so now it's like multi. It's like a fucking
Multimedia.
Swiss Army knife of podcasting.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah, so
Hell yeah.
it's interesting. It's really really interesting. So what's been going on this week? I believe we just had the passing of a legend, which I want to give a shout out. And I know we're not like any big time podcasters or any big time people, but a big part of my teenage years and generation was dedicated to partying fucking super hard because of this guy, and I
Right.
really appreciate the fuck out of him. And I know he had his demons when he was young, and he had his demons when he got older also. But from what I've heard, DMX passed away,
Yeah, man.
and what a sad time. I think he died. I think he just turned 50.
Yeah,
Right, not too long ago. Hey,
I'm
Robert,
not
what's
sure
up,
he
man?
just turned 50, but I know he for sure
He's
is
well, that's
50. or
that's
was
me.
50.
That's me in 10 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I know for sure that DMX had a lot of demons that he was working with, man, and he always sang about it in most of his music. And I know that after he was not in the mainstream as popular, he had a really bad alcohol addiction, and that's
Mhm.
where he had a lot of his downfall. And then he found himself again, and he started picking himself back up, and it's a really sad thing to see him go. There's probably right now, as a matter of fact, it's such a crazy time because not only is it a good time to be a fan of comic books because we're now now we're getting these like multi-million-dollar films that are super amazing and making everything come to life, but the old school's coming back.
Yeah.
Just everything, the old school's coming back. And you have like the Cobra Kai shows, you have all the reunion television shows from the 90s sitcoms. A lot of them
Even Mighty Ducks is having like a
they did a movie where they just
review.
did a release.
Well, I don't know if it's a movie or if it's a TV show.
Well, from what I saw, when I thought it was going to be like a specific film, like a Mighty Ducks reunion or something. And like a lot of the cast is coming back.
Well, they have a Disney Plus TV show.
Yeah, there you go. And like what, 8 or 9 of the original cast members came back?
Well, I know Emilio Estevez is in it.
Dude, a bunch of the kids came back.
Yeah.
There's a picture. Yeah. But there's a picture release of all of the old characters, like their age now with Emilio Estevez, like all wearing a Mighty Ducks jersey.
Bet.
And what a weird good time to bring back this nostalgia era, but what a horrible time to lose someone like the icon DMX. So our condolences to the family and everybody. It's a really, really sad loss. And if you're a little young out there, we understand. Try your best to go out and give DMX a good listen, man, because he has some music that is.
He's got some bangers.
Oh man, he's got bangers, man. He's got bangers. A lot of these young cats, they don't know, man.
Dude, X gonna give it to you, dude.
Yeah, dude. Rough Riders, man. And it was even nicer than that. The Rough Riders, like the actual crew, like they showed up to the hospital and they were like out in the streets and stuff in their motorcycles and sets, and just giving a lot of respect to the dude, man. So he was loved. He was loved. Hello. Hi, Denny. Now it's getting back into the normal stuff. So what do we got going on for our our nerd and geekettes, our geeks and geeksettes this week, man. They've had a lot of cool shit happen in the Marvel universe. We had what, King in Black?
Yeah, King in Black just ended.
Yeah, King in Black ended on a high.
I thought that ending was actually kind of cool.
Mhm.
The ending obviously is very predictable, but like the way that they went about the ending was actually pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, because obviously the good guy wins, right? You know, like that's the exact way King in Black
Good
is.
storytelling. Good storytelling.
It's right. Yeah, good versus evil. You know, but the way that it ends was really, really cool. And the one thing that kind of got me, and it didn't really specify on this, is whether or not Eddie Brock keeps the Captain Universe powers.
No, I don't think it does. The Captain Universe kind of
he leaves every time. Like he's like every time you're done with the event in which
it literally bounces right out.
But that's the thing. Like it's always sentient, but it needs a host to bond to, and like finding that perfect host. But then again, you know, you kind of have the Venom symbiote who did rebond himself to Eddie, so like there was also that as well. And like I said, there was a little, like, I was a little bit confused on a couple of things, but either way it was fucking cool because he calls forth Mjolnir and Silver Surfer's surfboard.
Oh, and he
and then merge them together, which is supposed to be impossible, but he does it.
He does it anyways.
And he does it, and that happens.
Well, like the running theme. What's up, Ed? The running theme of this whole entire comic book series was, it's like Oprah. Like everyone's gonna get one. You're gonna get a symbiote. Everyone gets a symbiote. Like everyone got a symbiote. You know what I mean? The Silver Surfer got a symbiote when he first ran into the King in Black like a million years ago when the beginning of the universe happened or whatever. He got a piece of the symbiote. Thor got a piece of it. You know, Cap's got a piece of it. Shit, even Storm, who's made of lightning that, you know, shoots lightning out of everywhere and can create it. That's like one of the only things other than fire that messes up the symbiotes of Venom. Even she got it. You know, this is it's so crazy on how everyone got it, including Mjolnir. Like Mjolnir, almost as a character itself, got a symbiote, which happens to be the metamorphic Silver Surfer's board. So pretty cool shit. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
And it becomes a big old battle axe, and he just goes to fucking town.
Everything is going pretty good. Everything's going pretty good. But the like with the Silver Surfer and all that stuff, what was really cool is like in the Venom, the King in Black, I like how like Eddie Brock ended up turning the power into like its own Venom symbiote with the everything black, but the symbiote is like glowing, like his the emblem was glowing. Like it was really cool. It had a very super birthday. So it very, very, very cool. Yeah, I guess we'll say happy birthday to my best friend Christella. Happy birthday.
Heck yeah, Christella. I'm gonna give her a Instagram DM.
I hit her up. It's gonna be her birthday tomorrow, so we're hopefully gonna be able to get a good party going on.
I'll bring the
yay. But King in Black came to a pretty solid fucking end, man. And that's because we had been talking about that it was dragging on too much, just like almost kind of like the way it was with DC and the Laughing Joker, right? The Dark Metal or whatever.
Yeah, Dark
Metal. You know, it came to a pretty solid end. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was pretty spectacular. Now we see what goes from here because of what happens after the passing of the King in Black, and then the stepping up for Eddie Brock and the rest of the characters. Because I think from here is when they're going to initiate like the new Spider-Man costume, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's like kind of like what's going to go down.
But it's really weird because we know that weird Heroes Reborn comic book arc is going to happen soon, and I wonder if with the passing of the King in Black by Eddie Brock, that now that Eddie Brock sits there in the throne, was there a purpose? Like, was there a thing that they kept people back, or was there an evil or villain that kept them back that could fuck up the universe to reset everything?
I don't.
You know what I mean?
So.
Yeah, because the thing is for them to do a Heroes Reborn story, they're gonna need to do some type of revamp, right?
Exactly. There's no reboot or soft reboot, event happening.
Yeah, except that this just happened, right? So it's cool. I think it went really well. I can't wait. Marvel has some pretty stuff going on. I'm excited. I'm super excited. But yeah. So what else is going on, man? So King in Black ended. Oh yeah, dude. In the manga world, Attack on Titan just finished in the manga.
Yep.
Did you by chance get to catch up on Attack on Titan?
I've read, I want to say, the last 6 chapters. So, and I read today's as well. And I really feel like as if I would have needed to have read the entire thing through to truly get what was happening at the end.
Oh, so you just kind of jumped to the end?
Yeah, I was kind of just like, what the fuck this? And like, I'm still kind of just like, uh-huh. And then like I read all over my Facebook feed, fans are pissed at the way that the fucking manga ended and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I mean, I can see why.
Like, okay, so I guess people would be mad because of the way that it ends so uneventfully. Because if you technically think about it, it ended in the last chapter, not the ending chapter.
Yeah.
Like it was almost like a really weird goodbye, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is what a lot of people don't understand is that when you become if the founding Titan is in your timeline, like you travel throughout that entire timeline. There's like a perpetual loop. Like if you were born to get that, you already have those memories already. Like it's such a weird thing because it pushes the idea of traveling through a timeline to like its perpetual limits. Like that's the easiest way to explain it, because it would be like if I grab my wallet, right? At this moment in time, now I can travel to the past where this was created. But since I was already on this timeline when I was born and I was guaranteed that I was going to get this, then I would have been able to travel through all of those extra memories before I acquired this by hand. Does that make sense?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's so fucking hard. So like at the ending, when the two characters are having their conversation and they're looking out at the beautiful distance, it's because the character in the future already acquired the powers of course, so he was able to go back to the past and have those conversations. And then since Eren Yeager is the founding Titan, he can 100% control all the Titans. Like he could control them no matter what. He just chooses not to control the Titans at the end because he doesn't want to control other people. Does that make sense? So all the Titans are free to do whatever they want, which is like Armin and all Reiner and all those guys that are attacking him. Because you remember when all the Titans are attacking him, right?
Yeah.
In all of that situation, like, hey, what's up, Diego? How's it going, man? In all of that situation, Eren could have been like, not today, motherfuckers, boom, and snap them, and they wouldn't be able to move. They would just join his ranks. But he chose not to do that because of the fact that he does not like to control people because he believes in true freedom. Right? So he allowed him, if he believed those people did not believe in what he was going for, then 100% they had the freedom to stop him. But he has the freedom to stop them too. You know what I mean? But it's not to control them. So if he that's why in the ending, that person says, well, why didn't I? That's why those memories came back to him, because Eren chose to make him forget those memories unless he died. So it was crazy because when you were watching the anime, when it very first started, and the kids are eating snacks and Eren's like, fuck the Titans, I'm going to go after the Titans and I'm going to eat some fucking bagels and hang out with my homies. And come on, Mikasa, let's go. Like all that shit, he already knew the future and he was just playing the role that he needed to play. That's fucking wild, dude. Like that's wild. Dude, through and through, I think Attack on Titan straight up is probably one of the best animes in the last 20 years. Last 20 years easily.
Wouldn't go that far, but
I mean,
that's very subjective, and sure, it just wasn't my cup of tea. But I mean, I can definitely see where the storytelling aspect goes, and I can definitely respect it for that.
mhm.
It is some very, very good storytelling, but at the same time, I'll just read a fucking Marvel comic.
Oh, well, yeah.
Like multiverse time travel theory shit.
Yeah, of course. I mean, but that's because but you're comparing a franchise that's been doing it since like the 40s to a dude that just wrote his first, full-length featured manga. And you can't compete. That's like I mean, we were talking about this last week where Marvel as a company feels like they're really, really working overtime, but they're having so much struggle into trying to figure out new stuff or new content that they could do. And then you have,
and that's why I'm saying, like, from a storytelling aspect, like it's beautiful. Like,
yeah.
it was a really, really nice ending. When I read the last chapter, the only thing that kind of pissed me off about the last chapter was that no matter what, it didn't really seem like it meant anything, because like their wars were still gonna happen, and I was kind of just like, eh.
Oh, for the ending of this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
it's like that's why I was saying, like, that character of Eren, he kind of like plays this like martyr, but he's not like the martyr that your mind naturally goes to, and it's like someone that goes out and takes a bullet and saves 30 people. Like, he wipes out a fuckload of people, and then he's like, well, I'm sacrificing myself, but I did it all for you guys.
Yeah. And like
one line, dude, one line. And I know what line I'm talking about.
For me, it was kind of just like, yeah, I do. And for me, it was kind of just like, okay, like what really, really happened though? And I had to reread it like twice to finally grasp the severity of the whole situation. And it was that finally it was a world without Titans.
Yes, that's exactly what he did.
Like, he was like, he set out with one mission, his mission changed, but ultimately the first thing that he said in the beginning of the anime, he did. It is a world without Titans.
Yeah, that's pretty much all this.
And
that was his whole purpose.
I was like, okay, now I can like grasp, like wrap my head around
the whole thing.
Yeah, because now it was kind of just like, okay, but like, what was the point of all of this if nothing changed?
There was one weird fucking line in the manga, and this is a slight spoiler, but nothing too crazy. But if you don't want to know about the Attack on Titan spoiler by one line, like, just cover your ears.
Yeah,
like, and right now, dude, it was the craziest written line when someone said, and I'm not going to say their name, but when the person said, "Thank you for being a mass murderer for us." And scene.
Yeah.
That was the fucking wildest line I've ever read in a story, period. Like, I understand when someone says thank you for sacrificing or thank you for giving yourself, but that line, man, I cannot wait to see that in the manga, because I'm not gonna believe it with my fucking eyes. Like, that was the craziest fucking line,
dude,
I had ever seen.
I do know what you mean, because I was like, damn.
Damn, like he's sincere, but goddamn, dude, like, what a thing. That's like telling Jeffrey Dahmer that's like the renters at Jeffrey Dahmer's apartment, like, saying thank you for eating those guys because they were late by 2 weeks. Like, you know what I mean? Thanks for looking out, my dude. Thanks for looking out. That was crazy, dude.
For me, it was the scene where Levi is being pushed around, and like,
oh, he looks up at the cloud.
Yeah, he looks at, well, not just at the cloud, but at the crowd, and they're commenting. He was like, "Hey, remember when a couple years ago when everyone here wanted to kill us?"
Yeah, dude.
And I was like,
it's crazy, man. It's
so I mean, like, like, I was trying to find the good in like the last chapter, and it was escaping me. And
well, okay, so the good in the last chapter, I'll explain it to you, because it's explained through the last like 4, is that it's all of those guys, like Levi and all of them, even the other Titans from the Marleyan side.
Yeah.
They're the only ones that were fighting against Eren in the end. Everyone else was just running for safety. So like now that all of it's come to an end, and the Eldians and the Marleyans working together as still Eldians nonetheless, we're the saviors of the world. So now humanity has to come together to look at them as heroes. So that Eren kind of like, he hooked them up with the VIP seats when he passed away. Yeah, I mean, that's the easiest way to put it. Like, he was the biggest bad guy you can think of just to kind of make his friends live a more comfortable place.
Which, like I said, like after like the fucking second time of reading it, I was kind of like, okay, now I get it. This is actually pretty fire.
You should have hit me up, dude. I would have, man. We could have talked about that super easy.
Oh, that dude, was. I had to figure it out for myself, or else it doesn't mean anything.
Attack on Titan seriously is probably, I mean, just in my opinion, one of like the top animes that's come out in the last 20 years. Like easily the series, even with the idea of it coming to an end, it's going to be masterful because of the fact that it's pulling practically a Brotherhood, Full Metal Alchemist, or a Full Metal regular, where it does have a definitive end and it gives you a solid story from beginning to end, and everything correlates and doesn't leave you on a cliffhanger. You're just left fulfilled, of course, wanting more, but enough. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it's crazy because a lot of people that I've talked to, when I tell them like, hey man, have you caught up on this? Hey man, have you caught up on that for Attack on Titan? A lot of people are like, dude, I haven't seen that since the second season. And I know exactly what they're talking about. It's because this is what we talked about a long time ago. I think you and I mentioned this to each other, where Attack on Titan starts on such a high note that you have to carry that pace like throughout the entire series, or go beyond that. If at one moment you decide to pull back and slow down, you're going to lose a fuckload of traction.
And they did. That was the shitty part. They really did. And like,
and I can probably guarantee where that episode happened. It was the one that after he changes and saves the city, and they take him to like court and they have him on trial in front of everybody. It was that episode when they involved politics into it. When it wasn't an episode about action, it was Eren being handcuffed and being told what they can do with him. And it just got real political. And I swear that's got to be the episode that caught everybody, because that's the one that dropped me. I literally was like, God, this sucks. It's going to go stupid now. And I never saw it until until the manga started coming out towards the end. The final chapter is when I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back and start reading the manga since it's going to be coming to an end soon. And I have not been disappointed, man. But do I want to go back and watch it? No.
You know what's well, for me, I really liked the I really like the progression of what's going on right now when it comes to Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay.
That is a shonen that, man, it is living up to the hype. And it kind of like, I'm not going to say that it was as big as Demon Slayer was like when it first premiered, but man, it's one of those that is getting some huge traction, because season 1 just ended for Jujutsu Kaisen, and dude, it is fucking good.
The animation looks really, really clean, and it looks really solid. Yeah, it's really solid,
bro.
I even saw that in some of the later episodes, because I've only gotten up to like episode like 4, I think, or 5, when they picked up the Nail Girls for the first time and they go on their first hunt.
Oh, it's like that's like episode 3.
Yeah, I still haven't gone that far, but I did notice that I did see like a preview or something, but I noticed that they decided to go with the same artifact as Demon Slayer, though.
Yeah,
that they're using a lot of like the fire and all that stuff.
See, what I like about Black Clover, it's like a single layer of like art, like it's all drawn on the same like page, and then it's animated. Granted, there's a layer of colors and the effects and stuff like that, but with Demon Slayer and with Jujutsu Kaisen, it's like the effect that follows the movement. So it's like doing this, but there's an effect that follows it, and so it just gives it an added layer of effect. And dude, that effect plays off. It is so good. And speaking of Demon Slayer, I just finished season 1 and it was absolute banger. Absolute
Nice.
banger. I have to read this anime now, or this manga, which I still haven't. I know.
Very cool.
Jujutsu Kaisen is super good. It is definitely one of those that I 100% recommend for anybody that is like looking for a new anime right now. Um, Kengan Omega, the Kengan series is always going to hold a nice one in my heart because like that was one of those like ones that I found when I was skipping through Netflix. I found it, and dude, it is so fucking good. The character development is so much better than Baki, but the fight scenes are nowhere near as cool as Baki's are.
Oh yeah, dude,
You
Baki's
know,
crazy when it comes
yeah,
to that stuff.
Baki is amazing for its fight scenes. Its character development is a little bit lacking. I like where it goes, but I love Kengan way more as far as like character development goes because there's like you actually feel for these characters instead of Baki where it's like I'm just doing this to be strong. I'm just doing this to be strong. I'm just doing this to be strong. And that's the
And then
only
that's it, yeah.
yeah, it's the only motivation anybody has. I just want to be strong.
Because they're gonna win with the power of friendship, dude.
Yeah, the power of friendship and love.
That's so
Yeah.
funny, dude.
And speaking of Netflix series that's coming out and comic books, Jupiter's Legacy.
Okay. Did they drop the trailer yet, or is it coming out?
Dude, and it looks amazing.
Did they drop it? I have not seen
Yeah.
it yet, man. So shit, I am a day late and a buck short with that one.
Dude,
I gotta catch up, fool.
Real, dude, for real. All right, so Jupiter's Legacy is actually a comic book. All right, and it was by Mark Miller and Frank Quietly. These guys, I believe, published on Image Comics.
Okay.
The same people who bring us, the beautiful and always awesome Invincible.
Which the other episode came out not too long, and it was really, really good.
Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna talk about that, and I have some gripes about that. I have some not concerns, but some shit to talk about today's episode.
Okay.
Nothing bad, but it's just like what? And yeah. Jupiter's Legacy, 30-second cliff notes. It's basically the boys and the Justice League rolled into one. Except they're humans. They're all humans. They get their powers by like in the 1930s, right before World War II. They go like the main character, Josh Duhamel's character, Sheldon Sampson, and his brother, his future wife, and two other people. They like go to this island. It is a remote island, and they get powers. They come back and they become superheroes. The whole story picks up with the new generation of heroes. All of them have had kids since then, and so
they're very chauvinist and conceited.
Not all of them.
Okay.
The kids are, yes. The kids are very privileged, very entitled, and that's kind of like the tone of the show is that the kids are not living up to the name that which their parents were fighting for, and that's the kind, and like that's kind of like what's pissing them off. Okay. And so there's going to be some tensions and some things that go down. I'm not going to give any spoilers past that. It is definitely worth the watch. 100% worth the watch, guys.
I can't wait for it, man. Sounds super good. Good.
It is amazing.
We have a question, which is pretty cool. A friend of mine from high school, Chrissy, puts, I've never really watched anime before. What's a good show to start with?
Oof,
holy crap, that's a good question.
That is a good question. That kind of depends
what you're looking for.
Not just that, but I think it also kind of depends on the time period. Like if you go like in the 90s, you have the Dragon Ball series, you have the Sailor Moon series, you have
Cowboy Bebop.
Well, Cowboy Bebop was like early 2000s. Yeah, I mean, it really does depend on what you like. If you're gonna go with something that's very, Marvel-esque or DC, Justice League, Avengers-esque, there's I think a good publisher to start with who has a plethora of animes to choose from is going to be Shonen.
Yeah, the Shonen Jump series.
You cannot go wrong with the shonen publication of animes that are out, they have held up 100% for the past 30 years. I mean, I just rewatched Yu Yu Hakusho, I want to say like
Oh
6
yeah,
months ago, and it
love Yu
was,
Yu Hakusho.
yeah, it was fucking amazing.
Um, I guess right now, like, yeah, like it really does depend on what you're looking for because, like, if you want something that's serious, there's a bunch of serious anime. We just got one watching one called Stranger with a Voice, I think. Yeah, Stranger.
Actually, what's kind of an anime that I would like to see is what was it? Way of the Household Husband.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that are coming out like they're drama esque
Yeah,
and romantic,
this
and
one doesn't
it,
seem at all violent or actiony. Like
it's just a regular movie, like it's just a regular fucking story.
Oh yeah,
Dude.
Samurai Champloo's timeless.
Samurai Champloo is also timeless.
But Cowboy Bebop, is also
yeah, like
one.
So right now, but it's not done yet. But it's really, really, really fucking exciting, and it's fun for literally all ages. My Hero right now speaks to me on so many different levels, dude. Like, I'm not even kidding, man. Like, the new episode came out. Well, the new manga came out. Season 5 just started. The English actors are amazing. The Japanese actors are amazing. The story's amazing. Like, My Hero Academia. Like, I'm not.
There's also a lot of U.S. like nuances to it. Like, one of the biggest main characters that you meet, his entire persona,
is all the American hero,
is based on the United States of America. All of his name, like all of his, super cool move names are
all
named
based
after,
on states,
states or a city, and it's so fucking cool. Good. Yeah,
like I don't want to sound like just like some kind of fucking fuckboy weeaboo, because it's like it's so corny because it's so popular, dude. But yeah, Chrissy, if you do get an opportunity and you can catch it right now on, I know there's a bunch of places you can see it. I don't know if it's on Netflix, but I know it's on a bunch of different streaming things. It would be My Hero Academia. A lot of people say it's called MHA or Bokuro no Hero. Academia. There's a lot of ways to find it, but My Hero Academia.
Yeah,
that's the one I recommend to everyone, man. It's really good. It's fun. It's something that you can actually sit down and not worry and watch it alongside if you have children. You can watch it with adults and still get a good laugh out of it. Yeah, like it's just for everyone. It's so good. It's really, really good. But yeah, as a matter of fact, like, did you get to catch up with the last manga of My Hero Academia? No. Like, wowzers, bro. Deku has such a huge game, dude. He's so OP now, and he still got one more
that we need to see. I have a feeling he already has it. We just haven't been exposed to it yet.
You want to know what I kind of wondered all this time? I wonder if it's the power to bulk, like a bulk power, like the way All Might was, because that's something that I never understood.
They kind of go into that a little bit. A little bit. And slight spoilers for you guys. The ones.
Wait, is that something in the new episode?
Not in the new episode, but it's something that's been released. I want to say within the past 7 chapters.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's not too far back.
Yeah. So in the past 7 chapters, they explain a lot when it comes to the one for all quirk. And the one for all quirk, because it is stockpiled so much, is that anybody who uses it, if you have a quirk, your lifespan will be cut.
Oh yeah, it's diminished.
Yeah, because there's just so much of an undertaking. Now, All Might was a very rare case where his body was able to adapt to it immediately.
But he didn't have a power.
Exactly. But his body was able to adapt to it immediately because he was quirkless. But because he was quirkless, he made the quirk his own. Now, the thing that should not have happened with All Might and did was because he had it for so long, his essence filled some of that quirk and stockpiled a little bit. He technically gave nothing except like his like metaphorical soul to it. Because
yeah, I get that. Like I get because that's what it does.
Now, what he did, and I think it was like an unconscious thing, is that he used the quirk to inflate himself. That was
Yeah, that was kind of
essentially,
weird, man. Because I was like, in my mind, I was like, wait a minute. Like, I know he doesn't have a power, but I know that there's a bunch of different powers.
yeah,
And they revealed one in this past episode, but I'm not going to talk about it. But they did reveal one that's kind of interesting because it does kind of make you think of earlier times in the series when All Might does something and he looks like that. Um, but I never could understand if or why is it that with him having a secret identity, from one moment he's like a ginormous individual, and then the next moment he's like dehydrated skinny, like super like frail skinny. And I always just chopped it off as, well, that's the artist's representation of showing his hurt in age. And the reason
yeah,
why I say that is because like you look at like Gran Torino, and I don't think that Gran Torino started off as a 6 foot tall hero and then magically shrunk to a little nanito guy.
yeah.
Like
The
that's
3 foot
just them
4,
saying, "Oh, that's what old people look like. Old people are small and usually little frail thing." Yeah. So my idea was like that's the thing is like if I'm not mistaken, All Might's like in his 50s. If I'm not
yeah.
mistaken, he's like 53, maybe
Yeah,
52.
I think,
So
yeah,
my
it was
my
like
guess is that
52.
when he depowers, like he gets to that middle height and weight of before they start getting smaller and frail the way the artist draws them to be old.
And that was another thing that was kind of explained, is that everybody's 100% looks different. Everybody's, not everybody's 100% makes them big. Everyone's 100% makes them look different,
Mhm.
or like has a different effect to them because of, the way that the power reacts to that particular person. Obviously the quirk is ever changing, so it's going to adapt and it's going to evolve certain ways. With Midoriya, it's the lightning and it's the red energy surges on his skin and stuff like that. When he goes 100, when he does go 100%, you see the lightning and you see his hair stick up,
Mhm.
very Super Saiyan-esque. With All Might, he beefed up. It was and the reason that he did that was because he was only using essentially the base of it. All he was doing was just raspa shavings, dude. That was it.
Yeah.
And
It's interesting.
you know
It's something to think about. It's something to really consider because could it be that the last person's power in the whole entire thing is the power to expand your mass?
uh
And
the
I'm not talking about like just muscles, but I'm talking about like the density mass to where it almost that would
well,
be
if
interesting,
we're
right?
if we're gonna go with the last users, no, it's not.
Well, I mean, because they
Because
still haven't.
I already know what the last users like quirk is. That if we're gonna go chronologically, your if you've read the chapter, the second user is the only one, is the only quirk we have not seen yet. It's been third through seventh that we've seen.
And there's 9
And
overall.
yes. And obviously All Might didn't really have a quirk, he just has his soul in it. So that's the stockpile, is the strength.
That's the fire, the gold guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He,
that's
that's All Might, is the
that's his
one
flame. Yeah.
yeah. And I'm not going to get into the quirks because I'm going to spoil a lot if I do.
No, but it's one of those things. Like there was a lot of theories that I think we just got
Yeah,
clarity in this one for one of them, but a lot of people thought it was going to be a time traveling series where it was a Bakugo and a Kirishima that were the last 2 users because of the character visual that they look like when they show them in their smoky
they did
color.
the same thing with Best Genius.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh
one
my
of
god,
the
that's genius.
yeah, one of the guys, his like jacket goes all the way up to
All the
like
way up to his
nose.
eyes.
Yeah,
He wears literally a Canadian tuxedo, which is a denim
just like
suit.
this.
It's just
Yeah.
all denim. But it just so happens that the collar of his shirt the denim goes all the way up here to cover his face. Now, the fucking greatest thing that this artist could have done, which blew my goddamn mind, gave him like a baby head with a long ass neck. Like
it's
that.
So funny. Why it was
Fuck,
so
dude,
funny
I
seeing
almost
that.
died laughing, dude,
I
just
was
on that
like,
picture alone.
yes.
I literally I couldn't stop laughing, dude, when I saw that. And I don't know if it was mean of me because Best Genius just went through hell, but man, that guy's got no neck, dude.
Bro,
He's got a baby. He's got a giraffe neck. I thought that was super funny.
All neck. But yeah, dude, it was so funny. This is going to be a great. I think we've already hit the time skip. I think I'm really hoping that this isn't the end of the series. I'm just hoping that this is just the end of the academia portion.
Well, I mean, because there's still one major question that hasn't been answered. Deku's dad.
Yeah, but
and that's literally like that's you look at Attack on Titan right now. That was the whole first premise of the whole like 3 seasons. And then in the third,
who was his dad?
Yeah, because remember at the very beginning of Attack on Titan, his dad leaves, gives him a shot, fucking bounces out. The mom dies. The dad's got a basement that no one knows of, but the key that he gave him was like, here's a key, son. When you're a man, go open that door. And the moment he looks at that key for once, like the Titans attack, like the city's in rumbles. Then he goes to the fucking the governor or the king or the queen, and they're like, yo, remember that key your dad gave you? Well, your dad used to work with Titans, and we need to get to that attic. And you're like, wait a minute. This guy's like a big thing, huh? I thought he was just my dad. Like, what the fuck is going on?
No, your dad is a fuck bag.
Yeah, your dad is a piece of shit, and you're a bad guy. But that's the thing. I feel like that's like a new quip that Shonen Jump is using, where a parent leaves and then later on they come back and they're like a huge important part of like the entire arcing story.
I really think it is, because right now, like, you just find out in Jujutsu Kaisen who Yuji's like the main character.
His dad is, right?
Dad is.
Yeah, you see, it's a thing.
Or technically his parents. Like you see like his mom and his dad, and we're like,
or fuck it, we'll go with one more quip. This is just to prove that there's all these different like blueprints to writing Japanese stories. It's when the younger kid finally has like a sit down and gets a compliment from an older person, and then that old person dies in the next scene.
Wrecked.
Like it always fucking happens. Look at the way it was with Jujutsu Kaisen in the first episode. The kid comes in, the grandpa's like, you're a piece of shit. And then he's like, all right, grandpa, whatever. And he's like, look, you're a great kid. I just don't want you to be like me. And then he's like, yeah, okay, grandpa, but you're all right. Look at, I'm with you right now. And he turns around, the grandpa's fucking dead. Like, you know what I mean? Like he finally compliments him. He doesn't act like a shitbag. And then the guy dies in his hands. And then it leaves him with this like huge life story. So far in a My Hero, the one big question for me has always been like, well, the only 2 people I know of in the series that have gone to America were so far first this kid's dad, Deku's dad, and All Might. So why would you send All Might to America? Because you want him to be a better hero. Why would you send Deku's dad to America?
Because he fucked All Might.
Because they got Kim and All Might were dating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Their closet.
Yeah, but like I really think that the next series, if anything, I think of at the very end when it all comes through and through. Since the scientist kind of casually knew about Deku and all that other stuff when he was a kid, I kind of feel like at the very end you'll find out that the big baddie or that the dad is like a big crime syndicate boss in America and he has to go save his dad. And that'll be the next series. It'll be like My Hero world.
The third movie is taking place supposedly in America.
No, I think it's in Europe because it has to deal with like the Vatican and all this other shit. Like it looks very Catholicism or cult-like kind of looking. The robes and all the stuff that the people are wearing. Oh no, you know what? It might be in Brazil. I know it's somewhere like in another country because they fly him over there. But
you gotta fly everywhere to get off of Japan.
Yeah,
and that could be literally anywhere.
You want to go to China, you gotta fly there.
Yeah.
You want to go to India, you gotta fly there.
Yeah.
But like straight up, I really think that the next season is gonna be like My Hero world, like the entire world dealing with it now, and they're gonna start introducing all the other heroes of the nations. That's what I think, because they're gonna eventually want to make like an Avengers team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I
Are you
remember
looking?
reading that, yeah, they were gonna go to America because like it was gonna be one of those things where like where Deku is kind of following in the footsteps of All Might, you know,
Mhm.
because he went to America, you know,
Yeah,
to
right after he graduated, he decided to go off. The Gran Torino told him he needed to go off because he needed to learn to be more American or something. I don't know.
yeah, to be a better hero and
To be a better hero. I guess you got to go to America to be a better hero.
yeah, don't you fucking forget it.
Yeah, and then not mentioning that All Might's Japanese, but wants to don the American flag as his costume. Like, come
Don't
on,
you
Japan,
fucking
where you at,
forget it.
bro? Like,
And we're
that dude
not
just
sorry.
totally like fucking went against you. Nah, but straight up, it's a My Hero Academia is a really, really great series. I know that when that series comes to an end, we're probably gonna have a huge discussion about the manga. Probably invite some people on the show, kind of like talk about anime and talk about all that good stuff. But you had hit me up this week. This is gonna be a complete like 900-degree turn in what we normally talk about. But I guess I'm excited to talk about this because it's very interesting. But earlier this week, you hit me about a certain match or a certain sports event that's coming up like next week. And you're
Yeah,
like, dude, we should talk
man.
about this. And I was like, dude, are you sure? And you're like, yeah, man, I feel like it'll be good. So yeah, I'm gonna let you bring this segue in to talk about. So
Okay,
hit me
guys.
up.
So, so for people who follow influencers who are obviously way more popular than myself and Chris, you know, just somebody who's been in the fucking limelight in a very negative way, Mr. Jake Paul and his brother Logan. Jake Paul is fighting former MMA, you know, and UFC star Ben Askren. Um, they are going to be fighting in a boxing match. They are not going to be fighting in MMA. This will be a 100% boxing fight. This is, like I said, not going to be an MMA fight. So obviously they're going to be extremely limited on, you know, what they can do and certain punches that, you know, that they're able to take and perform. You know, there was obviously a lot of limitations for Conor McGregor when he fought Mayweather.
Mayweather.
You know, he was only able to strike a certain way. And
Well,
you
I
know,
mean, he's not allowed to use any MMA, but boxing goes through and through. So,
yeah,
and of course, I think
I think
you know,
I think
I'm
they're
really
gonna allow the
enticed.
Superman punch. Yeah, I think
I'm
that
pretty
was the
much
only MMA. Yeah.
genetically connected to all of this stuff. The only thing you really can't do in a boxing match that comes like that is you can't do like a back fist. So you cannot hit with like a slapping motion. It has
Yeah.
to be straight down the center. So you can't back fist, which in MMA you can do whatever the fuck you want. And a back fist is a prominent move in the martial arts world.
Oh,
So you
yeah.
can snap and then set up something, but it has to be with the top of the knuckles to get the point. Of course, you can't bite, you can't kick, you can't hit below the belt, you can't hit in the back of the spine, you can't hit an inch in either direction of the spinal cord. So if you have the spine down the center, you cannot hit an inch in any direction. That goes all the way up the back to the top of the head. So you cannot hit like up here. Or you can hit up here, sort of, but not towards the back of the cranium, closer to the spine.
Yeah.
So,
And so, like I said, you know, Jake Paul's been making some moves, I guess, in the boxing world. You know, stating that he's now the future of boxing and making a lot of I'm not going to say absurd claims, but very
but you know what? I'm not going to say that. I'm not. You know what? I ain't gonna fucking lie. Boxing's been one of the most boring fucking sports in the last several years. MMA started literally killing it Vegas with boxing years ago, and boxing had been like scrubbing the bottom of the barrels.
I think
it wasn't.
I think for me, ever since UFC 100 is when I would have to say boxing really started taking the whole like combat sports scene and became a bigger and a far more prevalent
it makes for more of an exciting situation.
It does,
because boxing is
more to do. You know, you get to see a little bit more. That's not at all to say that MMA does not get boring.
Yeah, no, that is not. I've seen some dudes like dry hump each other for fucking 9 rounds, and it's just like a slow grind. It looks like a junior high makeout section or something.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I mean, you know, you got to get Steve Mazzagatti to be like, all right, fucking goddamn,
get back up, please.
Fuck.
Get up.
No,
but like straight up, like I'm not gonna lie, and it's no disrespect to the boxing world, but for the Logan brothers to hit the $1 million mark in their first pay-per-view event,
No shit.
like boxing is really fucking things up. But there's just so much litigation in the boxing community when it comes to like setting up fights and who you got to pay to make it work. That's the problem. Is that Jake Paul went with his brother and they put all the money into it, got some sponsors and shit, and got some big names to go out there.
It's almost a self-promotion thing that the name that their name alone can be a self-promotion behind this, and that their influencer status is enough to carry a multi-million dollar, event like this.
Yeah.
And it really just goes to show that like the power of the influencer nowadays. It's ridiculous.
But that's the thing. Even in any kind of situation, in the MMA world, we have influencers. In the boxing world, you have influencers. The fucking promoter themselves and the commentators themselves, most of them, some of them never fought, but they're in there and they have that presence.
Yeah,
that
I mean, Joe
you know what I mean?
Being, I think Joe Rogan probably being one of the more, if not the most prominent influencer / commentator, and I mean, this guy puts in the work.
He's an overall badass.
This guy is no fuck around when it comes to fighting. No. If you said right now, I will body Joe Rogan, I'd give you $100 and laugh. Here's $100.
He's a tough dude, man.
Yeah,
and he knows his stuff. He really, really does. He's a black belt in Taekwondo, and in some other series of martial arts.
Isn't he like a purple belt in jiu-jitsu?
No, he's a black belt. He's a black belt under Eddie Bravo, who happens to be probably one of the best independently created systems in the world, which is 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, which is like the spider monkey of jiu-jitsu. It's so amazing, dude. If you guys ever have an opportunity and you guys are into some type of sports stuff and you want to watch some crazy shit, look up the Boogeyman, the Martinez brothers, Gio Martinez, and I forgot his brother's name, but they're both Martinez brothers. They're both out of 10th Planet, San Jose. Those guys are fucking phenomenal. They used to be breakdancers, and now they're like stretchy jiu-jitsu like fighters, and they'll put people in such weird positions that you'll watch and be super confused. You'll be like, wait, how's he like that? Like, just looking at it, there'll be positions that you just get confused off. So if you ever want to see some crazy fucking shit, you watch 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. And it just so happens that Joe Rogan is a black belt in that system, which is best friends.
For me, when it comes to jiu-jitsu, a jiu-jitsu practitioner that I watch, and only because I'm subscribed to his channel on YouTube, is 40-year-old BJJ.
Oh, that guy's really cool, man. The long hair dude.
Yeah. I know dude, speaking of just confused ways of
that's the 10th Planet system. He uses a lot of stuff from the 10th Planet system also. Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of not technically 10th Planet, right? Because you can't just go off and say like, oh well, the twister is a 10th Planet move, where the twister's been used in catch wrestling and catch can for a million years. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you can't go off and be like, now it's 10th Planet, or an ankle lock or a heel hook. Now that those are prominent 10th Planet system, it's not because it's just a 10th Planet movement, right? But a lot of the stuff that the guy 40 and above jiu-jitsu uses, he uses a lot of inspiration from the techniques and styles of 10th Planet. So you'll see something that he does and then go beyond that and use some type of flexible movement to make it even worse, like to make it a crazier move.
Yeah.
Like, he's super flexible.
I really like his neck hunting. That guy is a fucking monster when it comes to neck hunting. Yeah. Dude, if he wants you to go to sleep, you're gonna go to sleep.
You're gonna go to sleep somehow, yeah. I mean, I know exactly who you're talking about. That guy's pretty talented, man. Pretty talented. The other guy that I follow, I mean, there's a bunch of them. I mean, dude, we have a fucking legend that lives in Far, Texas, Carlos Diego Freya.
Oh yeah,
dude, yeah. Carlos Diego is like top notch, probably like top 5 in the world for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And that's because he's easily like one of the top, to me, in my opinion, one of the top 10 percenters in the UFC. And like his last fight, like I know that he either won it or lost it by draw, but both him and his competitor did not deserve that. And the reason why I say that is because they put them 2 undefeated fighters who had already met before. Or you know what? I think Carlos lost to him a while back, but I don't know if it was in a different promotion. They put them in the same fight thing rather than getting them to fight one of the guys above them to bring them into the higher ranks. Because right now that division is being, I don't know, it's very weird because they have ratings and they don't really use them, right? They have like rankings for fighters and they don't really use them. There's like, if I'm not mistaken, you could probably look this up, but there's, I think on the roster for the UFC, there's like 150, maybe 128 155ers or one, and you're fucking you only know off the top of your head like four.
5 of them.
Yeah, 5 of them, starting from like, I don't know. You have, of course, Carlos. You have the guy he competed against. You have Cody Garbrandt, but he's like a 135er.
Yeah, I was about to be like, isn't Cody like
what's his name? The guy from Cheverport, man. I was just talking about the guy that's gonna fight Conor McGregor again. Who's the guy that's gonna fight Conor McGregor? The guy that just beat his ass not too long ago. See, I can't even think off the top of my head. And that's because I met him in Cheverport.
Cowboy.
Fucking something with a Dustin Poirier.
No.
Yeah, Dustin Poirier.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I was gonna say
Dustin
Donald
Poirier.
Cerrone. I was like, Donald Cerrone?
Like, I mean, yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, I teach my students mixed martial arts, and we're looking for a fight for Aaron, one of my fighters. Hopefully, he'll be fighting in January, February, March, April, May, June. He'll be fighting June 20 something here at the Burt Ogden Arena because they're going to bring Fury down.
Oh,
so so hopefully we get him ready and he gets a good match for that. But yeah, man, the 155 division there's a lot of people out there in the UFC, but like you never hear about them. And I kind of feel like the situation with how they handled Carlos's ranking with that other guy, I feel like they did them both injustice. And they shouldn't have fought each other. They should have fought someone who was a part of that top 8 or 9 people, but that's been losing fights, and bring someone that's undefeated up from the bottom. Not have 2 undefeated fighters who are coming up the ranks from the lower positions or halfway, and then have them to have the 2 undefeated fight to be on that top level.
That really just sounded like a cash grab fight.
Yeah.
2 undefeated fighters, who's going to come out on top sort of thing.
Yeah. I kind of, but I do feel like the UFC's done them some injustice, but we'll see what happens for them from there. But
that's Dana.
Yeah, no shit. Going back to what we're talking about, like, MMA, the boxing world has been kind of dead in the last couple of years, and with this kind of like oddity of seeing, like you mentioned earlier, Conor McGregor fight Mayweather, you get a bunch of boxers challenging MMA guys to boxing fights. To now you have almost like the rebirth of the extreme version of celebrity fights, celebrity deathmatch.
Yeah, this is just a very toned down celebrity deathmatch.
I mean, celebrity deathmatch, the claymation was fucking violent as shit because it's a fucking claymation.
Yeah. I mean, anyone who says that they didn't like that is either high or a liar.
Yeah, because those were very fun to watch. But now you have it to where you do have some prominent people in the YouTube community that are out there that are, some of them are kind of athletic, that do this thing where they're becoming so famous sitting down that they want to go out and do something or show something that they're capable of doing outside of that, like to show that they have talent. It just so happens that a lot of people forget that Logan Paul, the older brother of Jake Paul, was a very prominent high school wrestler. Very prominent high school wrestler. He was super talented in high school for wrestling. And of course, like you had Jake, his younger brother, tagging along, and those both probably.
Oh yeah, no, they're 2 very athletic kids. Yeah, I mean, no shit. These 2 are an extremely athletic pair. Do I think that Jake Paul is one of those who's gonna be like, oh, dude, I'm just gonna steamroll this guy? I don't think so. Ben Askren, in my opinion, has no real strike game.
Dude, yeah, his striking game's kind of whack.
His strike game was absolute trash.
Yeah,
trash, dude.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It was actually like a very.
Now this guy's an Olympic level wrestler, though. Yeah. If he wanted to take him to the mat, that should be over. First round. Yeah. But
a lot of people don't understand that the style of training and the style of practice and the style of like stamina endurance you need for a boxing match compared to MMA is almost like
it's night and day,
black and white, dude. Like it is so different from each other.
Yeah, and
Um,
you really can't bring the two of those and be like, oh well, I train in boxing, so I can go to an MMA fight and be just fine.
yeah, no, it don't work that way.
No,
You
no,
never see that success. You rarely see that success where a boxer leaves boxing, joins MMA, and is just as successful.
yeah,
You sometimes see it from MMA guys going to boxing and competing in boxing and at least doing novice to advanced, but never like almost like in Conor McGregor's situation, like almost to where they're at a master's degree in boxing.
yeah.
Like
No,
that's the problem. Like Conor McGregor went after the dude that every boxer's been after for the last like 15 years.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like that was a dumb move, but that guy made millions easy off of like 9 minutes of his life.
yeah,
Yeah, like that was like a smart money move. And I can guarantee you that all of the shit talking and all of the hatred between each other was just an act. And they literally just sold it like WWE stuff. And then once they were done and they walked out of that bitch, they were like, ha ha, what's up? They made money. They made a fuckload of money for a fight that no one liked. The only people that liked the Mayweather fight were the diehard fans of boxers that were trying to say that it's better, that it's a better fighting style than MMA, that it could compete at the same level of fighting that MMA does. Like that's literally it. But it just doesn't. You cannot just be a solid boxer and going. Imagine Mayweather going into MMA to fight Conor McGregor.
yeah. And that's those were claims that he had made. He was like, bro, if I were to go into MMA, I'll fuck your life up and blah blah blah. And everyone is like, no, you won't.
There was even
No,
talks
won't.
that he was trying to
Yeah, go into MMA to
go
fight him.
into MMA. He started doing some training, started doing some stuff like that, and there was videos, and it was bad. People were making fun of him, like MMA fighters that were in the area making fun of him because he was that bad.
Well, they should.
But the thing is the reason why he didn't go
how
through
many
it.
times, how much did he shit talk McGregor and be like, bro, I just saw your fight. I just saw your training video. You punched like a bitch, dude. I've seen your fights before. You hit like a fucking bitch. Like,
Yeah, I mean, and it's all fun and games. Like he had to make Conor McGregor like tie 80% of his arsenal behind his back to take that fight. Like, you know what I mean? He needed to put limitations to do the same thing. But we understand that it's just not the same sport. It's just not the same sport.
Yeah, no, it's not. And with this fight coming up, unfortunately, Jake Paul is in a much better position to fight Ben Askren than Ben Askren is. Ben Askren, I'm sure, he'll do his like 6 months of boxing in his camp and stuff like that, and really, really devote his time to it. The good thing is that he knows his fundamentals. He just had trash ass fundamentals. Mm-hmm. Jake, on the other hand, knows how to deliver, on a certain level, not a great level by any stretch of the imagination. His last fight against that fucking NBA guy.
Yeah, I felt bad for that guy.
It was an absolute slap fest, and he caught him on the chin, and he thinks that he's like the hottest shit in boxing right now. I'm kind of like, oof, he's up there, big guy. But I mean, that's just my opinion.
So my biggest thing about this fight is Ben Askren, whatever they want to call him, Ben Askren. He has something that Jake Paul doesn't have, which is experience.
Yeah, experience.
He understands the experience and he understands the pace. If you go back and you watch all of these fights that these Logan Paul cats carry and they go and do all this stuff, if there's one thing that shows that's very prominent is that
these guys
towards
hard, quick.
Yeah, they go as hard as they can at the very beginning of the fight. They don't pace themselves too well. So after the first round, going into the second, about halfway through, most of them are like slapping because they're just so tired. Their punches are very sloppy. Their stances are very weak. The crazy thing about it is Ben Askren, right? Like what a lot of people know him as now in the mainstream was for taking that knee from George Masvidal.
That was an ugly knee.
But a lot of people don't remember the fact that he was a belt holder for a previous promotion. And I'm talking like he defended that belt a lot of fucking times. Against a lot of great competitors. So now you have him coming in against this dude that wants to just box. And the idea is, can Ben Askren survive the onslaught that's coming from Jake Paul, who in the weigh-ins looks mighty huge compared to Ben Askren?
Oh,
He looks
yeah,
like a
no.
big motherfucker compared to Ben Askren. Like, can he provide the defense good enough to get him to tire out, take him into deep waters, and then finish him in the later rounds? That would be the idea. That would be the easiest form of entertainment for Ben Askren. And then later on, he can work him at the end when he's tired, and he can smile and laugh at him and literally get away with all that stuff. But my thing is through and through, the night starts. You get the crowd all pumped up. You get Jake Paul in the ring. You get Ben Askren in the ring. They touch gloves. They go at it. And in the middle of the exchange, Jake Paul catches Ben Askren and knocks him out.
Which I almost see happening.
What does that do to the sport for Ben Askren?
That's going to be his.
I literally think he ends his career. If not, he'll do something completely stupid to himself, like, you know, try to hurt himself, like in depression. Because, man, for one thing, you have two types of professional fighter that are looking at Logan Paul's fight, right? The Logan Paul promotion card, which is one, these guys are losers. They don't know what it's like to fight. They're a fucking joke, right? Or you have the other ones that are like, fuck it, put me on it. I want to make some money too.
I would.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Any smart motherfucking fighter right now would 100% be like, yo, where's my call? I'll get on that card so fast. Pay me. Because all of the people that they're choosing for the card right now make more money than regular MMA fighters. 100%. They're all streamers. They're all already professional athletes in other sports. And they're making way more fucking money at a fight that's easy. That's not easier, but that's less of a stressful situation than what these MMA fighters got to put their bodies through for the rest of the months to get to something that'll only make them 10 grand, you know, 5 grand. You're lucky to break 40 or 60 grand. You know, you're a professional if you're at 100,000 breaking 6 figures, but it's under that hurts. Like, I guarantee if they called Derek Lewis will be like, fuck yeah, put me on that card right now. I need to make money.
Dude, even Chael Sonnen, I guarantee you.
Chael Sonnen, yeah, fuck yeah. Dude. Like, all of those guys, anybody, only stupid people would say no. Only a dumb person would say no that's in the fight game. Because instantly,
if I was a professional MMA fighter, even if my career was a little bit lackluster, I'd be like, bro, put me in, coach. I'll call him out. I don't give a fuck.
Yep. Yeah, dude, it's fucking crazy, man. Like, and I forgot who it was, but I know that, was it Jake Paul that was calling out Conor McGregor?
Logan. No, yeah, it was Jake.
It was Jake, right?
Because Logan is calling out Mayweather.
Yeah, that's right. That's not really, I don't think that's gonna happen. And I think I
don't either.
That's a stupid fucking move for Logan Paul. That's a stupid fucking move.
Everybody was like, do you understand who you're talking to right now?
Dude, not even to joke around, Mayweather would literally fuck start his head, dude. Like, like I'm not even kidding, man. Like, when he was fighting, just think about it this way. When he fought Conor McGregor, he toyed with him for the 3 rounds.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Conor McGregor got like a weird uppercut on him. He shrugged it off, but he fucking toyed with him the entire time. Because a lot of people do not know that Mayweather, the reason why he runs, and people say he runs because y'all motherfuckers don't know boxing. Like, you don't understand that you only have a certain amount of movement that you could do, a certain amount of systems that you can do to block a certain amount of punches that you're allowed to use. So you have to strategize because the other person knows exactly all your moves too. It's just how you put that shit together. So he's fucking really, really an admirable, familiar, masterful at the Philly style of boxing. And that is only the first skin of the fucking onion that is Mayweather. If you get past the defensive side of Mayweather, then you get the old school Mayweather that used to beat the fuck out of people and knock them out back in the early years. Like, Mayweather did not get there because he fucking ran from people. he chased and he beat the fuck out of everyone. Like when he was younger, getting to those belts. Then when he got the belt, he said, well, why am I going to go train super hard and fight these guys and try to knock them out if they're the ones coming for my belt? I just need to be alive at the end of the match and get enough points to win the fight, and I'll make $1 million. He had a game plan, and he's fucking stuck to that game plan. That's just what it is. And he's, even though people don't like it because it's not exciting, like that motherfucker has listened to himself, and he's made himself millions of dollars on just beating the shit out of people. So yeah. Logan Paul calling out Mayweather. Mayweather's just going to fuck with him a lot, dodge a bunch of his punches, shrug it off, laugh, and then probably get him with a body shot or clip him behind the ear or hit him with a uppercut off the right, or he'll get him with something super fucking crazy.
Dude, honestly, like that fight would just be a fucking jab fest till round 6.
Well, that's what we call a boxing clinic.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a boxing clinic. Yeah, like he's just going to reintroduce boxing to Logan Paul.
He was like, honestly, if I was Mayweather and I would, and if I was gonna shit talk this guy, and I'm like, bro, how about this? I'll let you choose how I beat you. I beat you on the points or I beat you on the mat. Like either one.
It would be interesting. It'd be interesting. It would cause for some really good shit talking.
Yeah, like bro, I'll let you choose how I beat you.
But you know what? The only thing that I would see Mayweather coming back for is he knows that it'll make a fuckload of money.
Oh yeah.
He knows
that'll be a $50 million fucking event at the least, dude.
Even because of the fact that you look at it like just a couple of like what I want to say like last year, like one of the upcoming most like high IQ mixed martial arts kickboxers in the world from Japan challenged Mayweather, and Mayweather did an exhibition with him like with regular boxing, no kickboxing, and Mayweather fucked that kid up so bad. Like he messed him up in just boxing. He wasn't gonna do kickboxing,
right? Yeah,
yeah. He's gonna be like, "Well, I don't want to do kickboxing. You know how to do kickboxing? Why are you gonna challenge me to a kickboxing fight?" He's like, "But I know you can throw punches. You just can't do kicks. So let's do boxing instead." So the guy was like, "Okay, cool. Well, we'll do an exhibition boxing." And Mayweather fucked that kid up so bad. Like, man, I'm not even gonna lie. Mayweather fucked that dude up real bad. And then, of course, the kid, out of respect was like, damn, dude, like I wasn't expecting that, man. I got my ass whooped. And then went back to kicking the shit out of motherfuckers in MMA. Like he had his comeback. He went back. He just started destroying dudes. It wasn't like he lost and never came back. But the problem is you have the loss of what's his face? Ben Askren from George Masvidal flying knee. And then you have video of George Masvidal training that movement like days before the fight, calling it. And then boom, first fucking move that comes out. George Masvidal hits him with the flying knee, the exact same one he was doing at practice, the exact same one that he said on camera, this is what I'm going to catch Ben Askren with. Like in the first, 9 seconds of a fight, Ben Askren gets dropped. He was like the biggest hype fight because he was that undefeated nature, right?
And, and the I'm not going to say the funny thing is that like, you guys got to understand, like this guy, he knew what he was doing. If he took you to the ground, you weren't coming back up.
Yeah,
this guy was I'm not going to say a celebrated, but this guy was a very, very, very good wrestler. This guy was an Olympic level wrestler, competed and had just won like some other huge wrestling like award or some shit like that, and then went back to MMA and was just like, well, I guess I'll just ruffle stomp these dudes because, like a lot of them don't have any real wrestling game.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys could roll, but once they get rolled on, a lot of them don't know how to like.
Yeah, they don't got the glue. That's what we call the glue. The wrestling world, we call the glue.
And these guys just don't know how to react to being rolled around like that. These guys love being pinned and working from inside a guard or working from outside of a mount. Once you're in there, your entire plan goes out the fucking window.
Yep. So it's going to be a very interesting. Well, now when is this fight happening?
On the 23rd. The 23rd.
That's coming up. That's like 2 weeks, right?
Next week.
Oh, damn. No, is it next week? Yeah, it is next week already. Well, the following week after this one.
Yes.
Yeah, the following week after this. So.
Yes, the week after next.
Yeah, I would say like 2 weeks, right? Like technically 2 weeks. What are your theories, man? Who do you think's gonna win?
Uh oh shit! I take that back, dude. It's happening next week. It's on the 17th.
Oh, never mind. Okay, so the Ben Askren Logan Paul fight or Jake Paul fight is going to be next week. There's probably some special channel you can watch it on. It's not gonna be pay-per-view, probably.
What the fuck, dude? Frank Mir is fighting in this card.
Yeah, Frank Mir's on that card. I do recall.
Yeah.
Who's he fighting?
Steve Cunningham.
And who's that? Is that like a fucking football player?
Boxer. Yeah, he's a boxer.
Yep. Heavyweight boxer.
He is 29-9, one draw.
And he's fighting Frank Mir.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Frank Mir. Oh my God, that might be a bad call for him, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Frank can strike though. I actually have confidence in Frank Mir's strike game. You know,
a lot of people
when I saw him fight Noriega, I mean, dude, this guy's chin was like undefeated, and he took it.
Yeah, but you're talking about a sport that you look at Conor McGregor, right?
That's true, though.
Okay, wait, just check this out. Conor McGregor, would you consider him one of the best strikers in the MMA world?
Absolutely not.
Well, absolutely, because he's been able to go toe to toe with Nate Diaz, Nate Diaz, the younger brother, and he's been known to be one of the best boxers in the MMA community, right? So let's take it from there, right? Then you go to all the people he's fought and knocked out. That's including Jose Aldo, who's probably one of the best strikers, if not one of the toughest strikers in the MMA world.
Yeah, but didn't he sub Nate Diaz though?
Nate Diaz subbed him in the first round, and in the first fight, and then in the second fight, he won by decision. Conor won by decision.
Yeah.
So you had him get subbed in the first, which he just exhausted out, and then in the last time that they met, he went all the way through decision. But we're talking about his career. He's knocked almost every one of his competitors out, competed with every one of them striking wise. So in the essence of it, by his style and his percentage of knockouts, you would consider Conor McGregor to be one of the most accurate strikers in the MMA community. Right?
Accurate, yeah. I would definitely give him that 100%.
But to be accurate, you need to be a good striker. Like you can't just be where you're just going to put your hands somewhere and they're going to knock themselves out. You need to know striking, right? Ooh, your door closed by Ghost.
It's my wife.
Wow. But if I'm not mistaken, before the Mayweather fight, Conor McGregor had only thrown about 87 punches throughout his entire MMA career. Okay. That sounds pretty cool, right? Pretty normal.
For an MMA career?
87 punches?
And
throughout his whole record?
Yeah, and he had fought for what, 10 years at that point?
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you break it down, yeah, about 10 years. But nonetheless, about 87 punches throughout his entire MMA career. It's pretty good. That sounds about right. Where in a boxing fight, the first round normal is about 127 punches.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, isn't it like upwards to like 200? Like
you're looking at one round.
Yeah.
At the entire career of Conor McGregor's punching record. So you have to accept the idea that the concept for MMA guys is we go out there and we look for a finish, right? You don't look for the absorption. You don't look for the idea of like, okay, cool. Well, the guy's going to hit me 127 times. I have to hit him back and I have to absorb all of that for the next 3 rounds. You know what I mean? Like, so the idea of the endurance and what your body takes and what it does to you, there is a big change in pace and in training and everything. And I'm not going to I'll give it up to Frank Mir. What's up, Eels, man? My boy Edgar. I'll give it up to Frank Mir. He's one of the most phenomenal fighters in the world. One of the most legendary MMA fighters in the world. Toughest motherfuckers on the planet. The dude's he's strictly business. Oh yeah. But I'm not going to say that this is probably going to be an easy fight either. I'm going to say that this is probably going to be one of the most challenging fights he's ever gone through because of the fact that it's a different chess game. It's a different chess game. I give it up. That by itself to watch Frank Mir do a boxing fight against a boxer 29-9 or 29 and what?
29-9-1.
That is already
A challenge in itself.
worth the money. Worth the money to watch the fight. What else do we got on that card?
So we have Joe Fournier versus Ray Khan, who's
Raycon the singer?
yeah.
Raycon?
Here I'm gonna link the card in.
Yeah, you link it in there, but I still gotta know what's up. Raycon.
I am putting the card into the comment section.
What? There it is, folks. Just in case you need it, check it out in the comments. Holy shit, Raycon. Okay, what else? How many? Okay, so how many cards are there overall? Man, dude, I'm not gonna lie. That poster looks legit as fuck too.
4.
That advertisement ain't fucking around.
Right, dude?
Yeah. Right now, Eels, we are talking about the fight that's going to be coming up between Jake Paul versus Ben Askren. I always fuck his name up. Ben Askren. Ben ass claps. So yeah, we're talking about that fight. Just the idea. Yo, but I really think that if he loses Jake Paul, like his career is done, dude.
I would retire.
Yeah. Well, not even. I wouldn't say retire. Like, I think it would be a really shit time for him to retire. But from him to take that fight, then come back down and now fight Jake Paul and then lose, what do you do from there, man?
Cry.
Yeah, dude, because like, that's why I was saying like people are going to have to watch this dude because like he's going to get so much meme shit talking from the entire internet community. People are going to shit on him so bad.
The entire fight community
is going to fucking laugh at him, dude.
Yeah.
But then again, what if Jake Paul goes out there and fucking puts on a real boxing clinic?
Honestly, if you were to put on a real boxing clinic, I still think that Ben Askren is still going to catch a lot of shit, but I think that his respect will go up. But at the same time, that's not going to carry very far because Ben Askren is not a striker.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, if Ben Askren knocks out,
it'd be a lot different if Jake was fighting Frank.
Oh yeah, but fucking Frank Mir's way bigger than him, man.
That's true.
That's huge,
but,
dude.
Yeah, yeah. Not only does like Frank Mir have like 40 pounds on this kid.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that alone is a completely different category. But the fact that Frank Mir has been known to strike well. And
dude, yeah, he's probably one of the best striking heavyweights out there, man.
Yeah,
his kickboxing is phenomenal, man.
Yeah, so like putting him against Jake Paul would have been a completely different monster. Jake Paul would have been like, "Oh, bro, blah blah blah. All you do is grapple and all this other shit." You should watch the Noriega fight and say that again,
dude. The fucking face to face that they had was super funny. Like that, he threw a punch at Ben Askren. Like I thought
that was the bitch made his punch. That it was just like a little 1-incher and like
he was like Askren just like walked. He didn't even react to it. He was like, and that's why I'm kind of like, there is a part of me that is concerned about Jake Paul calling out someone of that nature from so early in his career. Like, okay, so first off, I don't think it's a bad thing for those guys to go for boxing or any kind of career. I encourage. If you're going to join the martial arts or the boxing world, I encourage it. Like if you want to compete early, go out there and do good. Don't call out people who have more experience than you, because you're going to learn that experience does have that you have to respect it.
Oh yes. And and one thing that Ben Askren does, and I will 100% give him this guy can fucking take a hit.
Oh fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, he's
now granted that leg kick did drop him. And I mean that it's one thing to
talk about the flying knee.
Yeah. It's one thing to fucking, take a full brunt, power of punch. A leg, to the face, and it's another to take a punch.
Yeah. You're taking the full amount of body plus the running, plus everything that George Masvidal had the intention to hurt Ben Askren with that. So he went at it with 100% of his body weight, and that can easily break. You can fucking slam through a wall. You could fuck a car up. Like you can break a car windshield with that shit. It was lucky enough to know that Ben Askren didn't break his like orbital socket or bone or jaw or something. He was so fucking lucky that none of that happened. Cause yeah, dude. Eels Edgar says, I think Jake can box, but I can't see the Paul brothers professionally, especially Jake. Well, I mean, I can understand that. The reason why is because of the way that they carry themselves. But the way they carry themselves is most of the way the conceited. You remember fucking Prince Hasim and all those guys back in the day? They carried themselves the same way. You know, it's just the onda of some people. Some people are about the talking shit. Some people about just going in and doing business. And those guys talk a lot of shit but they talk a lot of shit for a purpose. And that purpose is because they know it makes tickets. They know it makes drama. Literally, if there's anything that the Paul brothers are professionals at, is making the entire internet go crazy with a stunt. Like they know how to make it rowdy. They know how to make it rowdy. So, my prediction, you know, coming from the last fight that Jake Paul did against the basketball player guy, I didn't see clean work in his boxing. No, I saw a lot of bad habits.
It's a big slap fest.
Yeah, there's a lot of big swings, heads down, no looking, a lot of overhands, which a lot of beginners do. Trying to throw that overhand as a punch because you want to set up your right hand because you know it's the strongest, but not using your left to set up combinations and stuff like that. Not a lot of head movements, not a lot of there wasn't a lot of soul, right? That's what I say.
I'm actually watching that fight right now, dude. And I mean,
it's very stiff.
Yeah,
it's very beginner stiff. We call it the rattlesnake level. The reason why we call it the rattlesnake level is
the first thing that Jake does, and I see this in a lot of new boxers as well, is they do the whole.
Yeah, they're gonna feel of it. They're gonna feel.
I'm like, oh man, dude, go. Oh, what?
They're getting a feel, and it's all right. But you're gonna see a lot of like looping punches. The straight punches are there's still a lot of fear in connecting the contact to the other opponent in front of you. There's not confidence getting in the pocket. There's a lot of things that he's making in mistakes that you could see. These are all things that Ben Askren, as a fighter of so many years and as a martial artist who trains that way to see these problems, studies people who catches that. Like he studies that kind of shit. So like when he sees someone to be stiff and their elbows are high, not low, you're not moving your head with your beat, you're not comfortable. Those are all things he's going to exploit. But the problem is the reason why a lot of beginner fighters do that is because they're nervous. They're scared. Their anxiety is getting the best of them. It's making their heart pump faster, making the body shoot out more blood. But to get that, you need more oxygen, which exhausts the fighter faster. So it doesn't even matter how much endurance they have. They don't know how to control their anxiety. You know, in that situation, I think that the basketball player guy made a mistake because he went in there, probably joined a little gym and threw some punches. And the coach was like, yeah, you got it. You're an athlete. And totally didn't tell him that he needed to respect boxing as its own individual sport.
Well, it's like every one of these fucking celebrities, dude. Even the same thing was told to Justin Bieber. You're a fucking natural, dude. You're one of the best I've ever seen. Easily the best I've ever trained and all this other shit. And
you can't do that to people, man.
Yeah, filling their head with that shit, dude. They're going to go in there and they're going to be like, bro, I can take Mayweather right now. No problem. Yep. I'll fucking
you can't do that. And that's what I think. That's where I think Jake Paul's situation is he's trained with I forgot who he trains with, but I know he trained with like an MMA fighter or some MMA gym. But they were like, bro, this guy's a fucking animal. He's not. It's like, dude, you can't do that to this guy, dude. You can't do that. You're going to put this kid in there against someone who is, you know what? As a matter of fact, let's go back 100%. CM Punk, Mike the Truth Jackson, good man, good heart in the MMA community, does a bunch of shit for the MMA community, made CM Punk look like the fool he was. But when Mike the Truth Jackson was on top and he was like making fun of him and like slapping him and making faces, Dana White told fucking Truth, you know what? You fucked up. You'll never fight in my organization again. Get the fuck out of here. And they treated him like shit because he made that guy look bad. But why were they babying the fuck out of CM Punk? Why were they over there being like, CM Punk, you're so cool. You used to do wrestling. Let's get you up there to fight all these big name fucking MMA fighters now. when you're shitting on all the guys that work their fucking ass off and get their fucking asses kicked in real life, and then you put him up against this fake dude who just jumps in for fucking fakeness because he wants to look tough now. You know what I mean? He wants to look tough. Mike the Truth Jackson put the fucking punk in that dude. Literally made him reevaluate his whole situation. CM Punk after that fight was like, guys, I don't think this is for me. Thank you so much for the support. I'm out. Hey man, good shit. If you got to call out, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that because I'm concerned about your fucking safety. Because it's not a fucking game. The MMA community is not a fucking game. And that's the way that guy treated it. It's like, oh shit, well, I already do professional wrestling. MMA's fucking easy.
That, and you know, he was coming on the heels. Well, not on the heels, but he was coming right out, not right after, but he was coming after the hype for Brock Lesnar. You know,
I mean, but dude, Brock Lesnar, like, the dude's just big. Like, he got his ass kicked a bunch of fucking times by the real fighters.
Oh yeah, Frank Mir
like,
being one of them.
Yeah, I mean, fucking, I think Frank Mir beat the fuck out of him. Frank Mir made it real personal to beat the fuck out of him. Like, real fucking personal. Fucking Frank Mir destroyed that guy.
Granted, Frank Mir did lose to him, but then I think just that was just a crazy rematch because he lost in his second fight to Brock Lesnar. But yeah, no, that first fight, he put him in a fucking knee lock, and that was just one of the ugliest knee locks I've ever seen.
Well, yeah, and Frank Mir is notorious for locking submissions and breaking shit.
Oh, dude, whose arm did he snap? I forget.
If I'm not mistaken, it was Bigfoot's.
Was it?
Yeah, he automatically put him in a submission and broke his shit.
Yeah, he put him in an arm bar and then just
broke his arm.
Yeah.
Like, didn't even like get it in position and hold it and tighten it up to make him tap out. Like, he literally grabbed it, snapped it, and stood up because he already knew what he did.
Yeah.
He's notorious for that because he doesn't fuck around. He's all about business, which is why I'm saying that dude that's fighting him, that's going to be an exciting fight to watch. I just don't know if Frank Mir is going to how he's going to deal with the curse of MMA fighters jumping into boxing fights. It's just a curse. It's just a different type of monster. So I just don't know how he's going to do it. I think he'll do fine, though. Frank Mir is an experienced fighter, intelligent guy, trains with the best in the world. Shouldn't really be a problem. But Ben Askren, I think he's taking Jake Paul too lightly. I think he needs to take him just as serious as he takes on everybody else. And he needs to train like if it's a powerful championship fight. Because if it goes wrong, which I pray it doesn't, man, I really don't, because the guy doesn't need any more negativity when it comes to his career. Like if Jake Paul fights this guy and Jake Paul loses, it's gonna be just everybody saying, "Oh, well, you see, I told you so."
Yeah.
But if Jake Paul goes out there and let's just say in the wildest way, he beats Ben Askren by decision. I don't think that's as bad because both guys swung. It just so happens that Jake Paul swung more, which a lot of people will be like, well, you see, we tell Ben Askren to work on his striking more, and now he learned. And Ben Askren will go, hey, well, you know what? Like, I try my best, but this guy swings a lot, and, you know, I give him some respect. But if Ben Askren clearly knocks out Jake Paul, like in the first couple of seconds, everyone's going to fucking hate his guts. Everyone's going to be like, damn, dude, you didn't have to fuck that kid up that bad, bro. You're a professional fighter. You know what I mean? So, like, there's that. Or there is the Ben Askren gets knocked out by Jake Paul. Bro, this guy's been a fucking joke forever. You know, George Masvidal comes out and says, you see, this guy didn't even belong in the UFC. You know, Dana White's out there like, damn, dude, like, I should have sent in the girl that challenged Logan Paul or Jake Paul, like Amanda Nunes. So,
oh yeah, I remember when he said,
well, that's because he called out Conor and he said Conor wasn't gonna fight him, and then Dana was like, dude, I might as well call Amanda Nunes to kick the fuck out of you. So, and Amanda Nunes will do some damage, dude. Amanda Nunes is no fucking joke.
Honestly, bro, I would love to see him fight Rose. What's her face? Oh, dude, the fucking bald chick.
Oh, you're talking about Namajunas. Rose.
Yeah,
Rose.
Just one, like I want to say, like what, featherweight?
No matter the outcome, there will always be negativity. That's absolutely correct, Connor. We have Connor Dorgan from Twitch. No matter the outcome, there will always be negativity. Yeah, and that's what kind of
100%.
sucks, dude. Like, that's why I kind of hate the internet sometimes. Is like you never have people that are down the center that can just agree and be like, hey, you know what? My thing is, when I teach mixed martial arts, I teach boxing. I just want for both fighters to be good. It's a learning experience, no matter what. Right now, for Jake Paul and the Logan brothers going into these fights, they are really big learning experiences because they are going into the professional ring. They are fighting professional fighters. And even though Ben Askren is not a professional boxer, he is a professional mixed martial artist. But going into boxing, nonetheless, is way different for him. So it's a really big learning experience for the both of them. But they are in their own private promotion, which is crazy, away from all the other fucking ribbons and litigation that all the boxing commissions put on. And they're 100% making their own finance back. So the thing that I like about the Logan brothers, and you can quote me on this shit, is that they are literally taking care of the fighters more than the other promotions do. Like, I guarantee they're going to take care of those fighters more than Dana White takes care of them. Like, I can almost guarantee that Ben Askren with this fight is going to make more money than he ever did in the UFC.
100%.
And that's
100%.
what's sad as fuck, dude. That is what's sad as fuck. And I 100% believe that. But
that's why when Jake Paul was calling out Conor McGregor, he was like, dude, I'll pay you
right now, man. What, 50 million or whatever?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, dude, I'll pay you 50 million right now. No problem, no questions asked. I'll pay you $50 million right now to fight me.
I don't know why Conor didn't take that fight, dude. I mean, I understand that he hasn't been training or whatnot, or he thinks it's a joke or whatever, but
and then loses to Daniel Poirier, like, or loses to
Dustin.
Yeah, the Dustin.
And Dustin's a fucking animal. I met that kid a long time ago, man. Back in Cheverport, I met him like way long ago. Such a good kid, man. Deserves it with all his hard work. But yeah, I'm actually, you know what, dude? In a stupid way, you got me excited for this shit. God damn it, Trigger.
Let's go.
God damn you for getting me excited to watch this fight. Now I'm excited to watch this fight, but yeah, from the thing, no matter the outcome, there's going to be negativity. I just hope, I'll say this, that I hope that all the fighters come out safely. Nobody gets any major injuries. As a matter of fact, I do remember that basketball player guy got he got pretty fucked up in that with that knockout that he took.
Yeah,
that was a heavy uppercut. Yeah. So,
or a heavy back of the head.
Yeah,
he
so like an overhand or something.
Yeah, his first one was an overhand right, and he catches him in the back of the head. He goes down, and then his second one, when he finally gets back up, he gives him a good uppercut, and then like he falls to his knee again, and then that's when the ref is like, all right, no more.
Yeah. So my thing is, because man, there were so many memes about that dude, and I felt so bad for that guy because no one wants to be made fun of when you get knocked out in a fight, dude. No one does. Yeah. But it happens. You're right, and that sucks. The best thing that we can do is hope for everybody's safety, and I hope it's an exciting fight, man. God dang it, Trigger, you got me excited for that shit. But onwards to different conversations. Let's go ahead and jump into our next section. We are going to. Oh, let me ask you, Triggs. Did you get to catch up to Invincible? Invincible's going really well, dude.
So I did. I got to catch up, and it is so good, so good. Now, today's episode 100% confirms a lot of things that I had said about the show. Not that they were negative, but I did say about the show that they are moving in a pace that was not at all chronologically correct in the comic.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to be getting into spoiler territory, so I'm not going to say don't click off. Guys, very much stick around. This comic book has been around for a while. What I'm going to be talking about is going to be is in the comic book. It's just in a different part of the comic book. The central plot for today's episode is that Invincible is helping out somebody that he had taken down beforehand, and he is helping him take down his boss so that he can get out of debt with his boss. Invincible kind of trying to play, like the hero with helping out a guy down in his luck. You find out that that the guy who he's taking down is Machine Head. Machine Head doesn't appear till issue 18. Um,
Yeah, they're
issue
cycling
18,
through it real quick.
yeah, issue 18 is well after Omni-Man leaves Earth. He's gone. That happened in issue 12.
Yeah.
You know, this was a huge jump for me. I was like, what the actual fuck? When did this happen?
Yeah, there's a lot of things in the comic. There's a lot of things in the show right now that are timeline wise very different than the comic in the show. I don't feel like it's a bad thing yet because okay, so I'm remember when I told you this, and this is what it was. The reason why they started introducing time jumping into the series was because the show started getting so the comic started just getting so like they fucked it up. They fucked the story up. And the guy wanted to add stuff later on that he was like, fuck, dude, I want to add this. Like, this would make it so much better. So then they reintroduced time travel, and then they did the reboot, and then they did all that stuff.
But that's the thing, dude. Even in the time jump, they didn't really change anything. All he did was just do everything earlier.
Yeah, because of the fact that he ran out of time in the end in the first series.
Well, no, he did he did everything earlier because he knew what was going to happen. He kept his memories from the previous timeline. Hmm. And then when, you know, Spaghetti Monster was like, "Oh, do you want to go back?" And he's like, "Yeah, I get to see my daughter again. You're high. Let's fucking go. What are you waiting for?" You know,
it was a very when I was reading the comic book when it first came out and that happened, I was very disappointed. But then when all of it kind of come to fruition and the series finally ended, I was really like, oh, okay, that was really nice. I like this series. So like, I guess it paid off, but the way that they kind of came to it with the director, or like the director of the comic, like when he first did that, I was really like, man, fuck, dude, I hate time travel. I hate it so much. Like, I feel like it's a really easy cope out, and it takes the fear of loss away, because once you get time travel, there's no real fear that someone can be gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like that sucks completely. You know, as a matter of fact, it's like, I don't know if a lot of people got to see, I guarantee the entire world saw it. The Loki trailer. There is a part where like everything is purple, and in the trailer it shows Loki sit down next to a female, and it looks like fucking Natasha.
Yeah.
And that's because when we first saw it, I said that it was Black Widow, and then you said, no, it's going to be the female Loki. And then someone in the comments was like female Loki, and I was like, oh, I guess it's female Loki. Cool. And then we looked it up, and we were real like, okay, cool. Like there's a female Loki. All right.
Yeah. They even had set pictures. Remember?
Yeah. They had set pictures and all that stuff. And we talked about it because we even saw the actress and everything. Everything was set up for it to be that. But this trailer really makes me think that that's fucking Natasha Romanoff. But it cannot be Natasha Romanoff, because I told you when I saw that, I was like, dude, this is too much for me. Like, I'm going to have to research. I'm going to have to dive into the trailer like a dumb guy. And I went back, and the costume from Endgame is not the same one she's wearing there.
No,
and her blonde is leaving her hair, so her hair's red, but she looks more like herself in Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Now, could that be where it's her in a world that she survived and left with the Hulk, and Sokovia fell, and she's there? You know what I mean? And that's the timeline that where she's looking at everything and she's like, man, I regret it. I should have gone. And then she's talking to Loki, and Loki's, you know, they go back to like, I know if that's Natasha Romanoff, they are going to do a callback to the Avengers 1 scene of him in the tank and her investigating him or interviewing him. Like they'll give some, because that's the only time I think that they had been in conversation with each other. So they'll do that kind of scene when he's in the helicarrier. Remember in Avengers 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that. So he'll sit there and they'll say something like that. And then slowly and surely this Loki will be told how he was more of a hero than a villain in the previous timeline. But he won't believe it, but he'll start to kind of be a little bit more nicer. But he's still evil. He's going to be like a really good anti-hero. That's what I feel. That's exactly what I feel. Which, when you read the comic book, it's very Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., very Agents of Asgard, I mean, with Loki as a kid, him planning himself as a child to go back and be reborn in case he ever dies. Like that he had all these little like escape plans that if he gets killed off in certain ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like that's what they're setting up, that there'll never be a situation that there's not a Loki in some way. Like I kind of have that vibe. But yeah, the time travel with Invincible and the timeline and stuff like that. Yeah, like I think we talked about it too, where when his powers kicked in, that it was a feeling a little rushed, and then the death of the
Guardians.
the Guardians, that it was a little rushed. I feel like you know, that this series itself is not meant to be for seasons. Maybe like 3 or 4 seasons, but it's not meant to go on for a very long time. So I think the first season of this anime or this series either wants to end on the event that you're talking about that's missing.
I already know it will.
Yeah, so
I
it's going to kind of like come to an end more like when that happens. Like the fight happens between him and Omni, and Omni leaves, and that, like, from there it's going to be like to continue in season 2.
I think now I kind of get why they're doing it. I don't like, and I
don't agree with it.
I do, but I don't.
Yeah.
The reason that I do is because they're showing their growth and like his growth as a hero. He didn't have a lot in those first 12 issues. He really didn't. Like the first 12 issues were a little drawn out. You got to see some cool things. You know, he gets a girlfriend, he breaks up with her, he gets, you know, with Adam Eve. You know, he starts learning about himself, about his powers and stuff like that. This is like his growth as a hero while learning about his powers. And Omni-Man is kind of just like that back character that's waiting to make his move.
Yeah, of course.
I think that's why they pushed this event in front, because what ends up happening in that whole fight is Invincible almost dies. He's almost killed by Battle Beast. And
dude,
that was
Battle Beast. I was so excited to see him.
I mean, dude, don't get me wrong. That was beautiful. You know, he came in and left the exact same way he did in the comics.
Yeah, in the comics. It's so good.
Did it like fucking 10 issues previous. And I'm like,
it was so good. When I saw the moment the Machine Heads part came up and they were like, okay, cool, let's do this before dinner or whatever. I was like, are you serious? This is going on right now? Like, okay, cool. And then when Machine Head was like, welcome, I saw this shit coming or whatever now, but I have money and let me mention. And then when Battle Beast came in, I was like, get the fuck out of here. This is about to go from like 0 to fucking fantastic, dude. Because Battle Beast is like nuts, dude. He's super OP, dude.
Fucking ass kicks.
Yeah, he's the most OP character in the goddamn show. Like, no matter what, when Battle Beast shows up, he's putting a whooping on everything, and he's like, whatever, bro, this place sucks, bye. Yeah. And he's just so convoluted. He's like so mysterious. He just goes around and beats the shit out of people. Like, that's it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And then once he's about to kill like the most strongest dude, he's like, whatever, dude, I'm done. Bye. Like, yeah, he's fucking funny, dude. Like, I love Battle Beast.
Another thing that I really, really liked, and this was the first real display of this. Now, anyone who's never read the comics, or people who actually have read the comics, I'm sorry, knows that the Viltrumite are very prone to anger. These guys have very
he had his fucking
and he loses.
He showed it.
Yeah, he fucking throws the dude through a wall, and I swear to God, I thought that dude died.
Yeah, I thought it was super funny.
Yeah, he was just like whack and throws him, and you know, just connected to him, bam, throws him through a wall, and just looks around, who's next? And then
I guess we can agree that I think it's just the timeline that it's kind of a little bit weird right now, but I feel like it's still going to work out. And
because all this is just little snippets of, you know, him becoming a hero, him learning how to be a hero, him learning like responsibilities of being a hero. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like, it's good character development, and I get why they're doing it. I don't like that they did it, because there are far better like ways to do it.
Yeah, stretch it out and stuff.
Take certain stories that you have and make them better. And then on top of that, when you had that happen, we had like the visions of Omni-Man, but the ending of the episode, I have a feeling they're going to take a very, 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 very important aspect of the entire comic book, and they are going to make it Earthbound. If they do that, I am fucking done, dude.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit weird.
Well,
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it because that would be a really big spoiler. It does deal with the Viltrumite race as a whole. And the ending of the comic, I think, kind of is either hinting to that, or they're trying to put together like evidence against somebody.
Yeah.
And I'm wanting it to be the latter, but I'm really hoping that it's not the former.
Yeah, good point. All right, so if you don't have the opportunity, or if you do have the opportunity and you have Amazon Prime, go check out Invincible, the series. It's about 4 episodes deep. They come out every Friday, like the way the next show that we're going to be talking about, which we're going to get into spoilers too, because I really want to talk about this. And I know we're running a little bit late, but we have to fucking talk about this. Yeah. But Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Trigger.
My God. Oh my God.
What did you think, dude?
10 out of 10.
Fuck, dude. I'm not even lying, dude. That was probably one of the most masterful things that I've seen Marvel do in the last, like, literally since Endgames. I haven't been excited for a comic book film since Endgame
I haven't almost gasped like that since Endgame. Now, WandaVision was great, but it was very predictable.
Yeah, of course. And then not only that, I think the whole idea of like everybody speculating and the director trying to like, whoa, you're going to really like this one. Watch out. And like super hyping it up. Like coming from the director to hype it up that bad. And then the directors and the actors saying stupid shit. Like they overhyped the show and it was underwhelming. Yeah. Right. Where this one, there's not a lot of people talking. They're just like, hey, dude, you're going to get what you're going to get. Like it's just what it is. And goddamn, this fucking episode fucking opened my eyes to a million things, dude. A million things. And it gave callback to one of the theories we've talked about that I told you was going to happen sooner or later. But I do want to talk spoilers about the Winter Soldier and Falcon, the Falcon and Winter Soldier. And I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but I mean, if you haven't seen the show, I want to kind of go ahead and get ready to talk spoilers. 100%. The show is amazing. If you haven't had the chance to see it, you need to get on Disney Plus. You need to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's probably the best thing right now. That's real, like fucking the 24 or Mission Impossible or even the original Winter. It's just so stupid good. It's on the 4th episode. It needs 6 episodes to be a complete series. But we're on the 4th episode and it's already astronomically well. So my opinion, probably one of the best things I've seen in a while too. Get at it. If you haven't seen it, if you don't want to stick around, we're going to get ready to talk spoilers. But if you want to talk spoilers with us, get ready to jump on. We're going to give everybody the opportunity. We're going to play our spoilers song before we go into our spoiler section. So here we go. Spoiler song. And then we're talking spoilers.
Oh, here we go.
And welcome back. It is time for spoiler talk for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So in the last episode, we were left on a really good cliffhanger with AO, which is one of the Dora Milaje characters of the Black Panther series, coming in and giving like a standoff to our boy Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, leaving us in the last episode, which is episode 3. Then we automatically come into episode 4, and it is the confrontation between AO and Bucky. And of course, our speculation was kind of true, where we already knew that the Dora Milaje was coming after because they were coming for Baron Zemo. Right? So they come up. There is a really good fuck, dude. There is a beautiful, beautiful like flashback of AO helping Black Panther. I mean, not Black Panther. Helping Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, beat the brain. What's that shit called? The mind control from the Nazis. The first scene when he's like crying and she's saying the words.
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
I literally almost fucking teared up.
Dude, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I was so like
You see
you
the
feel it,
pain.
dude. Like I was
Yeah.
like, holy shit, that was such a good emotional scene. Bucky Barnes, the what's his face? Sebastian Stan did an amazing emotional sell, dude. I was like literally almost crying myself.
Especially when
But you
he's
see
like,
that there is a deep connection
to the
between the relationship between AO and Bucky Barnes, right?
Well, I think the Wakandans as a whole, you know, like Shuri obviously had a very, very large part to play in that. That's not to take away from AO or any of the Dora Milaje. He of all people it knows exactly, or at least he of all people who are currently stationed there, or in
We're
the middle
stationed
of, or what's going on right now. Him of all people knows exactly what the Dora Milaje are capable of. And
I mean, well, even with that, he knows how serious about their culture and honor they are. So like you could see it in the first part of the conversation when they are like, where that he's kind of sad that it's offended them that they've taken Baron Zemo, right? Which I kind of feel like he worded wrong when he said it in Wakanda that he's the means to an end. I kind of feel like he should have just simply said the super serum that made me who I am is out there and he has information and we need it. So this is why I just need you to trust me kind of thing.
Mhm.
But it was more like he demanded them to understand. And that's why AO was very serious. But then again, it's like when the Dora Milaje are on missions, that's their mission. Their mission comes from their king, and that's what they're gonna do no matter what. So if Black Panther was like, yo, of course, respects to Chadwick Boseman, straight up, kind of forever, man. For the Black Panther to tear the Dora Milaje that the White Wolf has broken Zemo out, and I want Zemo back in custody for what he's done. The Dora Milaje is gonna get that shit done no matter what.
Yeah.
In fact, that the truth is that the fact that AO respectfully felt that Bucky needed the time, she was like, cool, 8 hours and we're coming back.
Yeah.
Like, there you go. You're going to get your time.
In 8 hours, I will be here.
I'm going to give you that.
And that's it. You have 8 hours.
So that's kind of what I feel like. It was a very, very good intro, a strong introduction to this episode. Really, really, really fucking amazing introduction to the episode. And then it goes right into it. You get your fucking, you get your star of the show, Zemo, back in action. I mean, that dude is 100% what makes this show this show. The Baron Zemo character is amazing. He's such an amazing actor. He really brings that character to life.
Oh, yeah.
He makes this show so fun.
Yeah, Dave Brühl is an amazing actor. As a matter of fact, there is a movie on Netflix with two amazing Marvel characters who are already in it, Dave Brühl and Bradley Cooper, called Burnt. It's about a kitchen. It is an amazing movie. Dave Brühl is one of the lead actors in this movie. It is super, super good. Bradley Cooper being another one.
Yeah, Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays Rocket Raccoon.
And it's so fucking good. So good. Was it Alicia
Silverstone?
No, Alicia, her last name starts with a V. She played Lara Croft in Tomb Raider, this last Tomb Raider.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And
that's the other thing too. I wanted to mention that Myers
Zemo.
Yeah. Shout out to fucking Marvel for not losing the beat.
Yeah, dude.
And literally releasing an hour cut of the Baron Zemo dancing scene, which I didn't know I needed. And thank God they released it because, it is Probably one of the best things I've seen all day. But like, I knew it was gonna be corny, but
It
jeez,
was
dude.
so worth it. So worth
It's
it.
almost like everything needs a cut nowadays. I've seen so many
Yeah.
people asking for so many different cuts of movies, dude. Like that literally to me was probably one of the most funnest things that Marvel did this week, other than releasing the episode. Cause
Yeah.
like there's the scene where he comes in, he brings Bucky and Sam the tea, and he's like, would you guys like some of this? And fucking what's his face? Bucky stands up and grabs it and throws it up against the thing. And he's so mad and shit. And then all of a sudden he's like, Sam stands up and he's like, yo, calm down, because this guy's just gonna look at you and tilt his head that stupid way he does. And he's like this at the moment. And then when he realizes he tilts his head, he straightens it up. Like, dude, those little things in this show make this show so fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's gonna be so good, dude. So good.
But going throughout the entire episode and the review of it, I think Marvel really, really hit it, and they're following a very great pace that this show is going very, very well. I think this show is going a lot better than the WandaVision. I feel like the pace of the show is a lot better than the pace of the WandaVision. It's giving just enough per episode that it's leaving you on very good cliffhangers. It's almost like, you know what it kind of feels like? It's almost like I'm watching episodes of Heroes.
Okay. Yeah.
Like back in the day where like every episode has a really good point and then ends on a very good cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Like I remember I saw the ending of this episode and I was like, inside I was dying for the next episode already. I was like, dude, what are they gonna do? Because it ended on such a crazy note.
I cannot believe that that's where it went, dude. I mean, I can, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, oh my god, man.
Well, what they need to do, okay, story-wise, it was easy for them to bring in someone to carry the shield and look like an American soldier, a Captain America, right?
Yeah.
But what it is this show's doing very, very well on the idea of it saying, well, it's not literally just needing someone to fill a hole. There is a certain type of person that has to be worthy to carry the shield. And that's the thing, like Sam looks at it the way that everyone else is. That it's kind of like, hey, you know what? Like that was Steve's niche. Like that was Steve's thing. Where Bucky is looking at it like the way the society sees it, like, hey man, we need a Captain America. You need to have that shield. You know what I mean? And then you have Baron Zemo and you have Carly, right?
Yeah, Carly Morgenthau.
That they're like, we don't need the shield. Because when you have the shield, you're kind of giving privilege to the guy with it. Like a supremacist thing. Like you automatically put them on a pedestal and they think they're all greater than everybody. Which is kind of what this John Walker cat does. He kind of puts himself on a pedestal. But it's like his friend Battlestar said it before when they're talking about the super soldier serum. When he goes, you know, would you take it? And then he's like, what if I took it? And he's like, well, you don't need it, man. You got three Medal of Honors. You're already an amazing individual. So in a way, like John Walker's character is very much like a very weird mixture of Bucky and Falcon, where he's willing to go the extra mile to get the job done like Bucky would, because he's willing to, like, you know, hurt people or kill people. But he wants to do the right thing the way the Falcon does because he loves his country and he loves what he does and he loves his soldiers and his partners. He's willing to do whatever it takes to protect his clan or his people. It's very weird and it's very good at the same time how everybody correlates in a way to each other. You know, how everybody's almost very similar. Where you looked at the way, I thought it was a really great scene where they got Sam to kind of talk to Carly, right? Morgenthau at the funeral, right? And he's sitting there and there's a lot of relatability to the way that Carly's talking, the actress, the way that she's like, no, you tricked me, dude. Like there's a lot of she lets her guard down really fast with Sam. And I feel like that's a thing that you know, his character perceived to her. That's the way a lot of people see the Falcon, is he's more of a hero of the people also. Where when you look at Bucky, you know, he has his chest all puffed. You look at the way John Walker comes in as Captain America, he has his chest all puffed. But you see the Falcon and he's just so laid back that he just wants to help. So you can't help but trust the guy. That's why I feel like that was a very, very great scene, man.
I do as well. You know, it was kind of one of those things where, you know, like when it happened and, you know, John Walker's, you know, antsiness kind of gets the better of him, and obviously
his PTSD,
you know, fucks the entire situation up. You know, it's kind of one of those things like, damn it, dude, you know, you just had to do it.
I think that anxiety is probably post-traumatic stress disorder from him being at war. I really think that he takes it to heart when they talk about, like, that's what kind of changed him to take the serum in the first place, is when Battlestar tells him, man, can you imagine if we would have had that serum back then? Remember how many lives we would have saved? I kind of feel like that aspect of him losing so many soldiers is what got him to want to be Captain America, because he believed that him taking on the shield would save more lives just for being that role. He thought it was going to be what Captain America was in the very beginning when he was doing the UA shows. Right? Remember in the old Captain America movies, when he became Captain America first, they literally just had him doing a bunch of theatrical shows. So he just had to go be the part. So, like, I kind of feel like this is the way the guy thought it was going to be also. Going to go around, do some fun missions, do a bunch of photo ops and take some pictures, you know, give everybody high fives and sign some autographs. I don't think that he realized that there was some real shit coming with it, which was when he runs into the Dora Milaje and he's like, oh, hey, what's up, man? I'm John Walker. What's up? I'm Captain America. I literally wanted AO to be like, you'll never be Captain America.
That's what I was
like, dude.
That's what I was.
I literally felt like that was the only thing.
Yeah, I really think that you know, AO should have been like, you are not Captain America. And
that because the thing is like, because Captain America fought side to side in Wakanda with fucking Black Panther, and you know Black Panther respects him, and there's a really, really, really big respect for Captain America in the Wakandan country.
And helped defend Wakanda.
Yeah.
You know,
so it's one of those things like when John Walker's like, hey, what's up, man? I'm John Walker. She should have been like, you'll never be Captain America. Like, that would have been a great slap in the face, because then that would have caused the aggression, right? That would have caused him to be like, oh, okay, cool, you're not cool. And then when he's like, well, we can all call, I don't know what he reached for, to kind of like touch her shoulder, you know, fucking touch someone without their permission.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Touch someone without their permission. Put your hand on a lady's shoulder. Boy. Yeah, man, who's gonna start this guy, dude? And she fucked him up so fast.
And then like, what Battlestar says to him afterwards, and they weren't even super powered.
No, that was him. John Walker says that. Yeah, he's there, and he's like, they weren't even super. They didn't even have super serum.
Oh yeah, they weren't even super soldiers.
Yeah, like he literally was like so blown away that he got his fucking ass reamed by people, and they weren't even like. He just keeps running into these situations where he just keeps getting his ass kicked.
Yeah.
And at first it was, oh, well, it's because I'm in an unfair advantage because they all have superpowers or some shit. And like the deeper hole he goes as Captain America, the more he realized he is not fucking fit to be Captain America. That it forced him into a situation that he took his shit. Now, this just goes with what we talked about before. And this is that theory that I keep going on. This is a very, very strong road in them making a Hydra Captain America.
If they do, it would be John Walker. But
no, I don't think so. And it's because of the fact that Bucky Barnes tells Zemo, well, it never messed up Cap. And he goes, oh, but that's because there's only been one Captain America. Right? So that
wasn't the line. And if you say the line correctly, it has a completely different connotation. And he was like, it didn't mess with Steve. And he's like, yes, but has there ever been another person like Steve?
No, has there ever been another Steve Rogers? He doesn't even say another person. And that's the thing is, like, if you remember the Hydra Captain America story, Korvac, the Cosmic Cube character, comes in, asks Captain America to be young again, but she makes him the Hydra Captain America, and she kind of sends the consciousness of Steve Rogers into like this pocket dimension with Bucky Barnes and I think the Red Skull, if I'm not mistaken. Like there's a bunch. She sends like 3 of them, and then they all make it out together. But
I mean, if I remember correctly, his consciousness actually goes into the cube.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
It goes into the cube, and she goes into it, and that's when he sees her, and like he's all scruffy, and and he was like, "Let's get out of here."
Yeah, he saves her. He saves the little girl.
Yeah,
he does what Captain does.
Yeah, and then he gets out, and they're like, "Ah, are you?" It's the Superman, the Spider-Man point.
And the reason why is because you have the actual body and the actual reincarnation of the Hydra Captain America there, but then you have the consciousness who Korvac grants a body to. So like right now in the Marvel universe, there are still 2 Steve Rogers. There are literally 2 Steve Rogers still out there. One of them is Steve Rogers, the Captain America that we all good and love, but he is the consciousness of Steve Rogers, which is just the American hero, which I don't even know what they're doing with this comic right now. They probably don't have much to do with him because you can't do much with it. And then there is the Hydra Captain America that's locked up in some SHIELD prison somewhere in the middle of nowhere that they'll probably come back to 13 years down the road.
Matter of fact, let me look up his captain. Yeah, his
What are you gonna look up?
I'm looking up Captain Hydra right now.
Okay. Yeah, it's a very interesting storyline. So this goes back to the idea of them like they need to tarnish the name of Captain America so
I think they're already about to do
dude,
that.
they instantly tarnished his name. They instantly made him a fucking war criminal.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, they were like, "Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is John Walker, Captain America. On today's episode, how to be a war criminal." Yeah. Like that's exactly how to break international law, dude.
Watch me fuck this dude up with a shield real quick.
So he ends up doing something pretty bad. Everybody records it. So now it's going to be on the internet. So now you have this thing where the United States government fucked up because they gave someone the shield. Then this guy went off on missions, stole a secret serum, and took it to make himself more equal to the guys he's fighting, only to be where that thing pushes your consciousness a little bit more to make you a little bit more worse. So more than likely, it's going to have to be Falcon, not powered by the serum, fighting John Walker as Captain America, and then Bucky needing to beat him, take the shield, and then be like, "You're not who can be the shield. Only one can carry the shield," kind of thing. Like, I think it's going to go that way. Like, I really, really think that at the end, Falcon will eventually get the shield. But you know what? Like, there is a part of me that's
been in the trailer, so I mean, it's gonna happen.
Well, no, that's him just training with it. Like, they don't show his like.
Yeah, but he's still in the show. He's never had that shield, or he's never trained with a shield. So in the trailer, I mean, those scenes have to come sometime.
Yeah,
those very well might be the closing scenes of the entire series. Who knows?
I mean, they could be, which is the ones when he's like in Louisiana, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about that. But you know what? Like, as a matter of fact, with that could be a flashback to him like practicing with the shield and then him losing faith. You know what I mean? Like him losing faith in the idea of him like not being able to carry it because it's too heavy. He can't get used to it. You know, he doesn't have the serum.
Captain Hydra is dead right now.
You know, there has to be a point when the serum conversation comes in, and they touch base on it very lightly with Zemo, right? Zemo sitting on the couch after he got his ass kicked after John Walker touched him pretty good. And he's there on the couch and he's like, "Sam, let me ask you, if you were offered the serum, would you have taken it?" And he's like, "No."
Nope.
And he's like, "Without even hesitation. That's why you're a good man." But like it's one of those things. Like I do have this feeling like Baron Zemo does have this kind of mutual respect for Sam. He does see that he is a person that comes from like not a privileged life, and he still finds a way to still want to help everyone, not just individuals, not just himself. Like he doesn't have a personal gain. But yeah, man, you get this crazy scene that comes in where um Carly, the villain of the character, comes in, uh fights an individual and kills him, only to make John Walker the Captain America that was chosen, snap, finally start making tactical decision movements like Captain America, because he has stolen one of the broken and thrown away vials of the super serum, and he's taken it for himself, giving himself the same powers as
Carly.
the flag smashers.
Yeah.
Right. So now you have a roided out Captain America. He then has his partner in the show gets punched in the chest and is assumed dead. He snaps, chases the first guy he sees, and does something that, again, this is where I go back in the idea of how heroes are not supposed to act, because people are not prepared for that. Which everyone
that guy. So what happens in that scene should have been an Invincible. That is a scene out of Invincible.
Well, you see, like, but this goes off of the idea that I told you in the DC universe too. Like, what happens just doesn't happen in comic books. You know what I mean? Like, heroes aren't supposed to do that. Why is it when Captain America, a guy wearing the Captain America costume, kills someone with the shield, we're like, wow, this guy's fucked. What a shitty hero. Fuck that guy. He's not Captain America. But we just saw Wonder Woman chop off some alien dude's head, and we were like, yeah, get his fucking ass. Like, why is that cool for them to do it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is a certain pedestal that we put our superheroes on that they're supposed to be on. And Captain America, it proves right then and there in our society that we still believe that that's a moral aptitude that one of our heroes should have, right? Like outside of it being a comic.
That's just Captain America, is just to always find the high ground.
But that should be Superman.
Yeah.
Which it wasn't.
Not in this lifetime.
Yeah, not in this lifetime. But yeah, that's the thing that we do, is we hold these heroes up to all these really high marks. Captain America is one of them. And you know what was really, really sad is how that dude that got smashed by John Walker was like, yo, dude, I used to be a big fanboy for Captain America. I love that dude. And then I met you, and I became a big fan of you, which means he never stopped being a fan of Captain America, only to be killed by Captain America's shield. Like, you know what I mean? That was so gotcha, dude. Like, that was so gotcha.
That's what he gets, dude.
That's what he gets. So
that guy was the epitome of fuck around and find out.
the epitome of come get these hands, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, so let me ask you. We're already almost gonna well, we should have been coming to an end for a while back, but what do you think's gonna happen in the next 2 episodes? Like, what is your theory about the show? I know it's really weird because, like, I don't know if you feel this way.
I honestly think that it's now going to turn into the Bucky is now just going to be like, you know what? That's it. I'm taking the shield. Done.
Do you feel it kind of hard to kind of figure out theories right now for the show right now?
I do, mostly because we've never really had a story like this in the comics.
You know what? Like, I'm having very difficulty coming up with a theory, and it's not because there's.
I'm okay with that. Yeah. I'm okay with that because you know what? It leaves me with a sense of surprise. It leaves me with a sense of, you know, unpredictability. You know, like we already knew exactly more or less what was going to happen in WandaVision. So, like, even though it was an amazing story, we still knew how it was going to play out for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, but even with that, like there were some good surprises in WandaVision, but
there were. I'm not at all taking away from the validity of WandaVision. But
no,
what I'm
no,
saying
no.
is that in Falcon and Winter Soldier, we've never really had a comic book like this.
Yeah,
This is very Mission Impossible, James Bond. Italian Job is corporate espionage. Rolled into
so
one,
well,
and I love it. I love it.
It's very crazy because like with the WandaVision show, like it was very well put together. It was still good, but like I said, like all the hype around it from the showrunners and the director talking about that they were going to do all this amazing stuff. There was a lot of overhype that they did not get to, but without that, without them promoting it the way that they tried to do it with all of this, like you're going to be so amazed and a Luke Skywalker style entrance and blah, blah, blah. And there's going to be someone that's going to come on the show that Paul Bentley said he's always wanted to work with and he's never been in the same shot with or whatever. Like, and it just being himself, like there is a big part of me that was like predictable for the WandaVision. You were kind of like, well, we kind of knew that was probably going to happen. But like the reason why I say it is like with this show, you're right. Like there's not something like in the comic books that we can really go off of. There's a lot of references to the comic books, but not a lot of like, oh, this is the exact moment that they're at in the comic books. Like I can pinpoint you a part where there's a possibility this is going to go on.
And that's why I'm okay with that. Like I'm really, really all right with like the way that the direction is going, because we're seeing a brand new story told from Marvel Entertainment, not Marvel comic books. And you know what? If this was a comic book, I would have read the fuck out of this.
Oh, dude, definitely. Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, dude, that would have been an easy read.
Right? I mean, Falcon and Winter Soldier, the reboot of John Walker, the reintroduction of like the Flag Smasher and Power Broker, Baron Zemo and stuff like that. Dude, fuck, man, this is amazing.
Yeah, I know. It's so crazy because like I think the last time I heard about the Power Broker was like when he was almost introduced. Like I thought it was really funny because he was just like this guy. He was almost like the original One for All, or All for One, the bad guy. Yeah. Where he was just collecting superpowers from different like heroes and villains.
Yeah.
And then he was just kind of giving them to other people like for them to do jobs for him. But then he ended up doing an experiment on himself, which made him like ginormously huge, like big and muscular. But he was so big and muscular that he was too heavy to carry his own body. So then he was just bedridden. Like I remember reading about that. I was like, what happened to this guy? Is he injured or what? I remember when I was young. And then they were like, no. Like that's his body. He can't move. He's just so big. And I was like, that's stupid. I was like, that's so dumb. But if I'm not mistaken, he did come out in later comic books. Like they recently revamped him in an earlier series, but it wasn't very well accepted. But these are all cool. Like that's why it's so Marvel's so impressive with how many characters that they can reference and get away with, and it's just kind of used for throwaway in film. Like it's so fucking crazy, dude. I had a good friend of mine, my friend Tori. She hit me up last night and she was like, yo, I think Sharon is the Power Broker. And I was like, oh, that would be kind of cool, I guess. Cause Sharon's going to be like she's supposed to be like the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. later. When S.H.I.E.L.D. comes back, she's the one that's going to take over for Nick Fury. So yeah, that's interesting. Then she dates Steve Rogers when he goes young again or old. And it's a very interesting love triangle, but, that would be kind of interesting to see, like at the very end, that Sharon Rogers was actually the Power Broker.
I actually, for a little bit, I was like, dude, I really hope that they don't like make this like she's the Power Broker.
I was kind of like, I mean, it was a very interesting talk, but I was like, I hope not, because that means for some reason Sharon's out there doing evil, and then later out there she's got to pick up the shield to take over for Nick Fury, and I wouldn't want it to be where she's like got a tarnished name. She has such a great name, and she's Peggy Carter's granddaughter or great grandniece. So she has big boots to fill. Yeah, she has big boots to fill, man. So Peggy Carter is probably one of my most loved characters in the Marvel universe.
So classy.
She's so classy, dude. I love that character so much, and she's done no wrong throughout the entire series.
Ever.
Like she's never done anything bad. She's just always been good. So that's why she was a perfect match for Steve Rogers in the comics.
And
Or
Haley
actually in the movies.
Atwell.
She was in the comics.
Yeah,
she
Haley
married
Atwell
Bucky Barnes in
is
the comics.
amazing.
So yeah, man. So yeah, I hope she's not really the power broker. I hope it goes off with like a dude in a bed because that would be funny. Like a really built, like almost like Colossus sized dude, like just in a bed. Because you'd be like, this is the dude you guys are scared of? God damn, man. But yeah, I hope they don't go that way. If they do, then I don't think it's gonna go wrong either way. Yeah, but I feel like in the next episode, it's going to be, I guess you can kind of say like the Injustice version of Captain America, or it's going to be where people are more scared of him. I think the United States government's going to be like, you need to get your fucking ass back here right now because we got to PR this. And he's like, well, fuck you. I got shit to do.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's going to go rogue. That's what I feel. Which, I mean, there was a point in the comic books where US Agent was kind of like this de facto Captain America for the West Coast Avengers. But he was just so fucking hardcore about being Captain America. Like he was like hardcore about getting the job done that he did things that were just asshole mentality. So I just feel like he's just stepping into who he's supposed to be from the comic book. Will he still be the hero? Yes, but he's going to be like this villainous hero. And it's going to be exactly what it is. It's going to be the Captain America that you're like, hey, well, I mean, he gets the job done, but I still don't like him. I don't like the way he is because that's not the way Cap would be. And then lo and behold, I think it's going to kind of rein back to the idea of Falcon, Sam picking up the shield.
I do too.
Yeah, like I really do. There was a part of me for a minute that I was like, you know what? I think this is going to end differently. I think this is going to end where Bucky gets the shield and Bucky's going to be Captain America. Like he's going to don the blue, black, and striped Captain America suit that he wore in the Captain America comics book when he was Cap. Like I really thought that for a bit because of the fact on how much animosity Sam has for the shield. And then when he was like, well, I'm just going to destroy the goddamn thing. Like I kind of feel like it would go to Bucky and Bucky will carry the monument of Captain for a while. And then later on, Sam will come and pick up the shield after they give Bucky the opportunity. Because, I mean, that was a big thing, too, for the comic book fans, right? At the end of Endgame, when they give it to Falcon, there was some turmoil of some of the fans that were like, boo, like, it was supposed to go to Bucky first. It was supposed to go to Bucky first.
Yeah, I was like one of those. I was really, really hoping that Cap was going to be like, of all people, I trust you.
Yeah, it was supposed to be entrusted to Bucky. He was supposed to be Cap for a bit. Captain comes back, and then later on, when Cap gets old, seals the deal, then he gives it to Falcon, and then that's how Falcon gets the shield. But I don't know. Like, there's so many things. There's so many ways that it can go right now. I do feel like there was a really interesting moment in the show when they had it to where John Walker, Captain America, and Falcon both walk into the room together. And then you get to see Captain America and Falcon again.
Yeah.
Like you get that symbolism of them being together. And then all of a sudden, Bucky shows up, does the knife flip, shows his Winter Soldier that he still has the knife skills, like from the Winter Soldier film. And then you see, yeah, that was super cool. And then Bucky, and then Battlestar comes in, slams into Kari because they're going to stab Captain. And then boom, right? Jeremy, hold on. I'm going to see what Jeremy said real quick because what's that?
Ooh, did you all see that?
Oh, did you all see the deleted scene that got posted of Cap dying in Endgame? I don't think I saw that. Was that the one? No, because I think it was the Tony Stark dying in Endgame, and then everybody kneels down.
Yeah,
that wasn't Cap that dies in that. That was still Tony Stark, but it's just that everyone knelt to him. If that's the one you're talking about. If it's not, you're going to have to correct me, Jeremy. Like, because I don't know what scene, if he died in that. But this goes back to the idea what I'm talking about, dude. I really think they're going to tarnish the name of Captain America.
Oh, they already
You're going to have Winter Soldier come in or Falcon come up for it. Or at the very end, you're gonna have Chris Evans come back and pick up the Shield, which would be even more wild, right? Because Chris Evans still hasn't signed a contract and hasn't said he's gonna come back. But if an old man showed up to pick up the Shield and said, maybe we'll wait on this. Like if you had an old man Steve Rogers show up in his Steve Rogers Shield outfit, the blue one with the dark colors, but he's the old man, like the Nick Fury old man, that would be very fucking interesting. At the ending of episode 6, to have Chris Evans make a cameo.
That would be cool.
That would be fucking interesting. I would love to see that. But that's because I still believe that there's a de facto part where they're going to be doing the Hydra Captain America. And in the essence of it, if that's the case, it's either the old Captain America whose mind's been changed to being the new Hydra Cap, or vice versa. There is a completely new, young Captain America out there that's not John Walker, but actually Steve Rogers, that picks up the Shield, but he is a Hydra agent and he's going to make his entrance soon. So then you'll have the trio.
I really hope that they don't do Captain Hydra, and not because I don't like the Captain Hydra story. I thought it was a fantastic story. It is so good, so good. But it's just one of those where it's like, I guess, dude. I mean, it was a great story, and like I'm starting to see a little bit now where they can fit it in. But at the same time, I'm kind of just like, is that really the story you want to go with, though?
Well, my thing is not like where the story wants to go. It's what are you gonna do? Like, what else you got? What other great stories are there for the street level characters? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what other stories are there for Captain America? If it wasn't for that, what other arc would you consider? That wasn't an Avenger story that dealt with everybody coming together. They got shit. Like Captain America ain't got nothing. You know what I mean? Like Falcon, what does he got? Nothing. Bucky, nothing. like except Man on a Wall. Like,
yeah, I mean,
but that dealt with space and all this other shit.
Even that dealt with the
original Sin, but you need to bring in like
story.
Huh?
But that was an entire Avengers story.
Yeah, so it's very, very weird on what you can say in the sense of like, well, we have Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We know that Falcon gets the shield. We know the Winter Soldier gets the shield, but we also have the Man on the Wall for the Winter Soldier story. But what other stories do they have that are spectacular that can carry their stories individually as a movie? You have to make movies for these characters also if you want the franchise to be effective. You have to bring in really good.
I agree with that. Yeah. But at the same time, this is where Marvel Entertainment can finally spread its wings a little bit and make a fresh new story that it doesn't have to derive directly from a comic book.
Yeah, I get that.
Now, while I wouldn't be opposed to a Captain Hydra story,
I'm not. I'm definitely not.
I know, and I know that you're like the hardest on for fucking Captain Hydra.
Dude, it was the most amazing story for Captain America since I don't know. I couldn't even remember a story other than that Captain America was great in, except for Civil War.
For me, and granted, this isn't a Captain America story. It's just a Captain America. It just happens to have a big Captain America scene, and it is the only time where you actually see Captain America almost practically give up, and that would be in Fear Itself.
Yeah, but that's like a world breaking.
That was a Thor story.
So this is right now the problem with me with Marvel Comics is like if I was a normal human being, I would have fucking killed myself by now. Because it's like every week the world's either going to explode or someone's breaking it or alien invasion or monsters or we're being changed into mutants or inhumans. It never fails. Every week the world of the 616 is constantly getting fuck started. Every week. I don't know. That's why I'm so confused sometimes as to how there are regular pedestrians still walking in the background of the show or in the comic books. Like, do you ever notice that? Like right now, King in Black, like there's still people that are going to buy groceries and shit in the background. And I'm like, dude, the entire world's covered in symbiotes. There's giant dragons. Like, have you all just been like, dude, fuck it. I'm tired. I need eggs. I need eggs. I'm just gonna go to the store.
I would, bro. I'd be like,
And the
fuck it,
store's
dude.
open down the street. Like the guy's just at work. Like, dude, I got symbiote goo on me. I need to maintain my job. Like the 616 in the Marvel universe is so fucked. Celestials falling out of the sky. Like, dude, what else do they need? What else does that world need? Like, I don't want the movies to have that. Like right now, they just got everybody back from a universal just destruction. And then what next? Now we're gonna do Secret Invasion, like make everybody a scroll, or Guardians of the Galaxy, Korvik. You want to bring Corvus in and fucking have him try to, or fucking Mad Jim Jaspers. Like, let's fucking change the entire universe. Like, it's too much.
Well, I mean, we already know that Armor Wars is about to happen. We do know.
I technically don't think it's gonna be like the comic book version of Armor Wars. I don't. I just kind of get a vibe that the Armor Wars is going to be someone stole, or you know what? When Shield's information got released on the internet from Winter Soldier, when the Black Widow released all that shit, someone released the original plans of the Iron Man suit that they got from the Iron Patriot, and that's why it deals with War Machine. And that's when they're going to introduce like Crimson Dynamo, and they're going to introduce all those guys from Russia.
I can see them stealing an armor, but not like 500 of them.
Yeah. I don't think the whole world's gonna get a fucking armor. Yeah,
no,
but I just think that it's gonna be like.
See that.
I just think that
but Secret Invasion, we already know that the scrolls are there.
Yeah, they can't do it because there's no one that's bad. They're all cool and they all work in Shield.
Yeah, like, and now we have the introduction of Sword, so now it's a completely different thing. So yeah, man. I mean, we have that.
So. The only reason, like I said, the only reason why I think Captain Hydra would be a great story is because we waited for the 10 years for Captain America to pick up the hammer, like to do all that stuff and call the Avengers on and this and that. And then we're going to have the Jane Foster Thor storyline. So eventually we're going to have the Avengers with the new Jane Foster, the new Avengers are all going to come together, and they need someone to rally behind. And when they rally behind it, it's probably going to be the Falcon.
Yeah.
So the first villain of that would be great if it was the Ultimates villain of the Avengers, which was a whole other Avengers team based on the villains of theirs. You know what I mean? So like in the first Ultimate comic books, there was like almost like a Captain Pakistan or something.
Yeah, the Ultimates was like a multiversal Avengers team.
No, it wasn't multiversal. What it was the Ultimates comic book way back in the day, the Ultimate Avengers, the first villains that they took on, which it was another Avengers team.
About the Ultimate Avengers, that's a completely different thing, and that's
the Ultimate storyline, the Ultimate Avengers storyline, like that universe, the Ultimate Universe.
Okay, because I was about to be like, all right, that's totally different. Then that would fall a little bit more in line.
Because the thing is the film universe is very much based on the Ultimate universe. Yeah, dude, we're about to go into 2 hours. We're going crazy, dude.
What are you talking about? We're about to go into 3 hours.
We're about to 3 hours. We're going nuts, dude.
Yeah, we got to wrap this up, dude. My wife is mad.
Yeah. No, I don't have any body, so I'm mad. We're about to hit 3 hours. We're supposed to stop this an hour and a half, Trigger. Look, the thing is, having a Captain Hydra story would be great. I think it would be good because there's nothing left for the street level characters to portray another 3 episodes for comics for the Falcon for 3 other movies, or Bucky for 3 other movies. Fuck those guys, dude. Fuck them. They're getting Disney shows.
Yeah, you guys got Disney shows. You have like 80 years worth of comics. Go read those.
So we know for sure they're eventually going to get to like a Civil War 2, which sucked in the comics. They'll make it better in the film. We know that there is some talk of Chris Evans coming back as Captain America to do a Captain America film. A lot of people are talking about Hydra. A lot of people are talking about this, but there's also the talk of it being, what is it? That fucking shit. Not a Hydra, but I don't know. There's talks. There's talks of Chris Evans coming back to work with Wolverine, to work with all the X-Men, to work with all the shit. Like, we know there's a lot of stuff. But right now with the Bucky and the Winter Soldier episode, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like, they're introducing a lot of really good aspects to what's coming up in the series. And then not only to mention that, the Loki series isn't too far away. So, like, I really feel like this is going to lead up. Call me on a theory. Call me on This is going to be one of my prophecies, but I feel like the major thing that's going to be coming up for these characters is the return of young Steve Rogers. And if young Steve Rogers shows up, you know 100% they're doing Hydra Captain Falcon or Captain America. But they're going to change it up because Falcon wasn't the villain. But we're going to get we will definitely get the most hyped scene in the Captain America show when he was Hydra, when he said, "Hail Hydra," right? He said that was one splash page that made national news. And then the second biggest one, which is when he picks up Jane Foster's hammer as Captain Hydra. And everyone's like, what the fuck? But that's a super convoluted story. We'll talk about that later. Guys, we have gone way over our limit. We didn't want to go on this long. And that's because, like we even said it before, that we weren't even going to be able to go this long. But yeah, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is such a great television show. If you haven't seen it, it's on Disney Plus. Make sure you check it out. Guys, we appreciate every one of you, to our extraordinary listeners, for tagging in. We appreciate you so much. Don't forget, if you like what you hear and you appreciate the show, join us, follow us, check us out on your favorite podcast apps and listening channels such as Spotify, Amazon, Google Music, anywhere you catch us. But guys, we appreciate you so much. Thank you to all our extraordinary listeners. We appreciate you guys so much, and we will catch you again next Friday. Thank you for tuning into the show, guys. We will see you again. Laters. See you again next time. Peace.